Yeah, and we're live. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Whilst we're waiting for comments to come in, we'll start as we always do with what everyone's been watching recently. I can go quickly because I've not watched much since my weekly watches. I watched Rebel Without a Cause for the first time yesterday. Probably a bit of an unpopular opinion. I just didn't get on with it. Again, I'm probably in the minority, and it's probably one that I'm gonna need to watch again. But yeah, I just thought, I don't know, maybe it was just because of the time that it came out, and I think if I'd have watched it a bit younger, I might have connected with it a bit more. But yeah, didn't hate it. Like I say, I'll stay in the collection because I want to give it another watch. But yeah, and then I've just been watching A Bridge Too Far, but I think I've still got another hour to go. I think I've been watching it for about 2 hours, but that's a solid war film. Got loads of great people in it, so yeah, that's what I've been watching. What about you guys? Do you want to go in a circle again? Do you want to start, Jody?
Yeah, because I had my day off today, so I watched Stalker for the first time, Tarkovsky's Stalker, and I don't know what to do or what to think, or I'm just so, I just like haven't been able to think about anything else since I watched it. I don't know if I enjoyed it though. Like I'm really struggling to kind of come to terms with like just everything, the meaning and everything. I don't know. It's gonna be one I'm gonna have to sit with for another while and kind of maybe think about before I can come to my decision. But yeah, it was such an interesting film, but just I don't know if I enjoyed it. I really wanted to, so I'm just gonna kind of think about that one for another little while. And I watched Ken Russell's Tommy for the first time the other day, and it was like instant 5 stars, like instant favorite. Oh my god, I just fell in love with it. I just feel like it was one of those movies that like in the first 10 minutes I was like, this is going to be a 5 star. Like I just knew from the very start that it was going to be like a favorite. So I just loved it, and I've been listening to the soundtrack just on repeat all week, so I just loved it, every second of it. It was like art to me. It was just like perfection. So yeah, it was like a very interesting week of watches so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tim, do you want to go next?
Yes, I've watched about 5 films, but obviously some of them I'm going to show on my recent watches, so I don't want to give them all away. But obviously yesterday I watched Deep Blue Sea 4K, which Sammy's now got. And then, was it Sunday? No, Saturday. I don't know if any of you have ever seen this. I don't know if you could see it there with a glare. Felicia's Journey.
Not heard of that one, mate.
Bob Hoskins and what's her name? Elaine Cassidy. I think she was in the others.
Yeah,
it's like an Irish film.
Girl in the others.
Directed by Atom Egoyan, I think his name is. But yeah, it's basically it's not really a spoiler to say, but yeah, it's like a serial killer movie. I'd say it's the best performance I've ever seen by Bob Hoskins. So the film in general is well made, really good music, sort of like Irish music. But the Bob Hoskins, some of the faces he makes are genuinely terrifying. He kind of, I'd say it's not quite on the level of Silence of the Lambs. It's not got that much violence. It's more psychological. But yeah, if people haven't seen it, I would recommend it. Really blown away by that one.
Yeah, never heard of it actually.
That sounds really good, Tim. I'll add that to the watch list.
I think it's out of print. Yeah, I've had this one for probably about 15 years. When I bought it in CEX a long time ago, it's quite expensive. Not actually double checked on CEX, but yeah, I've not seen it around, so I'm guessing it's probably out of print. But yeah, if anyone can get hold of it, I would recommend. Yeah, maybe not Bob Hoskins' best acting, but his best kind of most sort of scariest role, I would say. Yeah, there's some bits when he's just staring into like the mirror and the face he makes just genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, it's one of those films that I can imagine you might just see pop up in a charity shop at some point. Yeah, sounds good. What about you, Sam? What have you been watching?
I've watched a few things. I've just literally come out of the cinema today, Tyneside. I went to go and see David Lynch's Dune for the first time. Yeah. There was so much to process, and it was quite ambiguous, but I actually quite enjoyed it. I quite liked it. I totally get it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but yeah, I think there was a lot to pack into the movie from, like say, quite a chunky book of like, is it 800 or something pages, I want to say. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. There was a lot to, like digest and stuff. And I think it is one I would definitely want to like watch again. And I think on second viewing that would really help, like sort of like enhance a few things for me, like which I'm still processing from its first viewing. But still, yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It was I don't want to say overwhelmed, because I thought no, I would say it was quite overwhelming at points, but not through the entirety of the movie, where like it kind of knocked me out, and I didn't work to the point where I checked out and I wasn't enjoying the movie or anything. But it was solid, like solid cast as well. Really cool to see Sting in there as well. So yeah, and I'm a big fan of The Police as well. So yeah, cool to see Sting in there. Also in Quadrophenia, which is awesome as well. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else I've watched recently. Watched Purely Belter, set in Newcastle. That was a fun little movie. That really enjoyed that. Watched Goal, which I've got a bit of a soft spot for that film. And I watched quite a decent light-hearted rom-com called The One and Only, set in Newcastle as well, which I quite enjoyed. That was pretty good. I watched a really good film recently with Harrison Ford called Witness, which I thought was very good. Yeah, really liked it. I hope Ollie, we get that on over here on Arrow 4K at some point, because that was a US edition only, so it'd be good if we could possibly get that over here at some point.
The little kid in that's just excellent as well, isn't he?
Oh yeah, it was just a really good story, and actually kind of like a film of two halves as well. Yeah, it was yeah, pretty good. So yeah, that's probably some of my recent watches there, Ollie.
Nice. Yeah, some solid ones there.
Thank you, buddy.
Start with the comments. First up, I'm guessing that's Aidan, maybe? Aidan O. James,
Hello,
film collector. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Do correct me down below if I am. Love Deep Blue Sea. Awesome movie, guys. Can't wait to get my copy. Shockingly, I've not even got the standard Blu-ray. So I think I'm just going to go straight in when it comes back in stock and just get the 4K. But yeah, it's been a few years since I've watched that. But yeah, just like a turn your brain off sort of film, isn't it?
It's amazing, that movie. Yeah, it's really good. I haven't seen it for about 12 years, Ollie, so that's going to be like a bit of a breath of fresh air watching that on 4K. And do you know what, Ollie? I don't even think I had it on DVD, but that was probably about 15, 16 years ago, and I never even had the Blu-ray. So yeah, it's going to be a breath of fresh air watching that on 4K, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Hello, Sai.
Hello, buddy.
Headshotted Dreads Boy Kills. Well, what a name. Hello.
No headshot.
Hello.
Sai says, I watched a cool film the other day, Prime Cut from '72, starring Lee Marvin and Gene Hackman.
Okay.
A decent grindhouse movie. I'd highly recommend it. I'm trying to watch anything with Gene Hackman, and I mean, he's popped up he's in A Bridge Too Far, with he's got a bit of a dodgy accent in it, but he's still good in it. But yeah, I just want to watch as much of his films as I can, but I've not got many in the collection at the moment. I think the only other one I've got is that Behind Enemy Lines. So I need to give that a watch. Yeah, but such a great actor. He's just good in everything he's in, I think.
Yeah. I think that one, the Prime Cut, has like, I think, is it like one of Sissy Spacek's first roles as well? So, like, I've been really wanting to see it for ages as well, so I need to kind of get it up the watch list.
Yeah, I'd imagine something like that's probably got at least a DVD release over here that we can get hold of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's
I'll try and get hold of that.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I've ordered actually quite a few. I stopped getting DVDs for a while, but obviously I got quite a lot in the charity shop today, and I've ordered quite a few. I ordered like a import one. It's a film called The Spectacular Now, which Sam would probably like because it's like a coming of age film. About
Okay.
10 years ago, it's got Miles Teller, Shailene Woodley. It's like
Yeah.
I think they've just finished school. I think it's like a love film of sorts,
Yeah.
but I watched the trailer and it looked good. But it was a US import, but I managed to get it for about £8, which I was quite happy with. But yeah, I
Can you
ordered
get
quite
that?
a few. What was that?
Sorry,
Sorry, Sam?
Ollie. Sorry, buddy. Sorry to interrupt you. I was going to quickly ask you, Ollie, can you get that one on DVD over here?
No, I had to import the US DVD. But you can get it on eBay. I'm not sure. I mean, my Blu-ray player up here, I know I got a special thing that for DVDs only I can change the region, so it should be fine. But there's the DVD, and I think the Blu-ray's only about £15 on eBay, the American import.
Okay.
But I think because it's A24 and they're Lionsgate, I think it's region A locked because I've got a few like that I can't play unless I got it on my other player. So, but yeah, it looks like a good film. I got a few others as well, but I won't spoil them all because I want to show them off in my haul video because I've got quite a few. I've told Tim a few that I've got coming. But yeah, some pretty big ones coming into the collection.
Nice.
Evening, Giz.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Ollie, do you know who the actor is played Juggernaut in X-Men 3? That's Vinnie
Vinnie
Jones, isn't it? Yeah, Vinnie Jones, yeah. Yeah, he's all right. He's not like
He's good
the
in
best
Midnight
actor
Meat
in the
Train.
world.
Anyone seen that?
Yeah, I've not seen that one. No, is that Bradley Cooper?
Yeah. And
Yeah, I've
Vinnie
not seen
Jones
that one.
don't really speak. He just plays like a silent killer, and obviously he kind of looks the part when he's like walking around with his briefcase like a butcher. But yeah, I'd say that's the best role I've seen him in. Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't in Snatch, was he? Because I've talked
No, I
about
think
that
he's
in
in
a
Lock,
video I've
Stock.
done today. It was Lock, Stock. Yeah, I thought it was. I know he was in one of the two early and he is in the Gentleman series that was on Netflix last year. But I've not seen him in much.
Mean Machine, I think he might have been in with like Danny Dyer as like a prison football kind of film. Like I've quite enjoyed that one.
I did as well, Tim. Quite good, that film.
Yeah, Jason Statham, well, Roy's favourite.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a few. I got a few of the Danny Dyer films today, the older ones, because I've not really seen any of his films, and obviously he's got that new one out, so I'll give them a go and see what they're like. I mean, one of them, is it The Business? I looked at the disc, and the disc looked like it had been thrown at something. It's literally a color I've never seen on a disc before, so I don't think that's going to play, but it has got Blu-ray release, so if it doesn't work, I might just pick up. I think it was only about a tenner for the Blu-ray, so I might just pick that up. I'll watch The Football Factory first and see how I get on with that. I think.
I love that film.
Stuart's here. Hello, Stuart. Saying good evening.
Hello,
Watching every Boy with the wife. Watch stream on repeat if it ain't over 5 hours long. I don't know if you're still on, but I got this today, and you'll be proud of me. I will finally watch it. That's Yentl. One of the last of the big Barbra Streisand films that I didn't have in my collection. And because the Blu-ray's so out of print, I just saw it and I picked it up. I think, was it Oxfam we were in? I think it was Oxfam where there was loads of them, but a lot of them were quite expensive, weren't they? But it was only 99p, so I thought I'd pick it up for that because although the thing we didn't do, we didn't check a lot of the discs, so I've got home to find that this disc as well is quite scratched, but hopefully that one will play. It's not as bad as The Business. That was just, I've not seen a disc like that before. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that because I've heard it's a really good film.
Oh, it's incredible. I think you'll love it.
Yeah, I just love anything with Barbra Streisand. It's a shame, as like we were saying in the group, it's a shame she's probably not going to do anything again because obviously they've got the Meet the Parents fourth one, whatever, coming, but I don't think she's going to be involved in that. But it'd be nice to just see her do one last big film, like kind of like a last 2 hour or whatever, just to see her off, you know.
She did the one with Rogan, I think, but I haven't seen it. That one.
Yeah, Stuart just watched that because I told him to get it, and he said, "I've seen it before. It's like a light-hearted fun watch, just like
Hmm.
your typical like late 2000s, early 2010s comedy, like a road film. It's exactly what you expect it to be. It's just light-hearted fun. I'm pretty sure I've got it on DVD. But yeah, I think the Blu-ray again is import. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I did try to get it because I just literally for the sake of just getting as many of her movies in
yeah,
as they could, and like it's just really hard to get, and I didn't want to spend like a ridiculous amount of money on like like a Seth Rogen comedy.
yeah.
So like I might try and watch it maybe somewhere else, or I don't know. It's just like a really weirdly difficult kind of film to
You
get.
think it'd be really easy to get on Blu-ray because of the kind of film that it is, but you just can't get it.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, it's the same with all of the Meet the Fockers films. You can't get them on, like I think there was once upon a time a trilogy pack, but I've got Little Fockers because that's the only one that you can really get. But I really want to get the first two as well because I love those films.
Yeah.
I just find them really funny.
Yeah, I've only got them on DVD, I think.
Yeah.
What was that? Sorry, Jody.
Like every charity shop I go into seems to have
The
those two.
DVDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might
There's
just have to
the-
bite the bullet and just. I might, if I remember rightly, in my case, because I've taken a lot of the DVDs that I had ages ago and put them in like a case, so it's just a disc. I think in the back of my head, I might have one of them, or maybe I do have the first two on DVD. I can't remember, but yeah, I'd love for them to re-release like a trilogy pack because they're good films, or maybe if they do ever end up making a fourth one, release them all again then. Who are your favorite horror protagonists from horror franchises? Ghostface, first one that comes to mind for me. Ghostface.
Protagonist. Is
Oh
that
no,
like
protagonist. Oh, I thought
Yeah.
protagonist.
Oh, yeah.
That's the same thing.
Antagonist is like the villain, so protagonist
No,
would
so
be like
protagonist. Okay,
final
then
girl or whatever.
I'll go for Sydney then. same film series.
Yeah, probably.
I'd have to go with Ash Williams.
I've
good
not
one.
seen those
Dead.
films yet. Still not seen them.
Ollie, you're in for an absolute ball with
Is the
them
series good
movies.
as well?
It's so much fun.
Is the series any good as well?
Oh yeah, I've only seen the first 2 seasons. I haven't watched the third and final season before.
Yeah.
I think the show got cancelled. But yeah, really good fun, mate. I would say Evil Dead's probably my favourite horror film series. Just absolutely adore them movies. Even Evil Dead Rise and the 2013 reboot, which are quite divisive and stuff. But yeah, really awesome film series that.
Yeah, I think I'll get, because I think the first two are on 4K, aren't they? So I might get them. But Army of Darkness is only on Blu-ray, isn't it?
Yeah, and Evil Dead Rise got its 4K copy as well. Still haven't got that in my collection yet.
I watched the trailer because I thought I might enter the franchise by watching that one because obviously it was different to the ones before. But I watched the trailer and it made me wince a few times. I don't think there's some. I know there's some ice stuff in there, and I don't do very well with ice stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, out of all of them, I'd say it's the goriest by far,
Yeah.
even more than the remake. But yeah, there's a few sort of scenes that made me cringe a bit. I won't spoil it, but with a cheese grater is all I'm going to say.
Oh no! Don't think I could handle that.
Yeah, so I'd have to say Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street. Obviously, she did 1, 3, and 5, didn't she? But yeah, in part 1, probably my favourite sort of horror protagonist.
I've only seen the first one. I've got the box set, but I've not delved into it yet because I don't know. I've heard very mixed things about each of them. Like I've heard they kind of alternate, so it goes like the first one's really good, the second one's bad, the third one's good, like that. You know?
Yeah. Number 3 is really fun.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tim. I think the third one is my favourite after the original, but on another day, they could be on equal level of enjoyment for me, them movies. I quite liked the second one. I thought it was all right, and the fourth one was okay, but yeah, so far Ollie, the first and the third movies, I would say they're the best ones for me, definitely.
Is the third one? Is that the one with Patricia Arquette in the third
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, Dream Warriors.
Yeah, I knew she was in one of them, and yeah, because Johnny Depp's in the first one, isn't he? He's actually right in that. It's like it was his first film, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of. That's what I love about the first Scream, well, all of the Scream films. You watch them over again. The more times you watch them, the more times you pick up on it. And if you watch it, you'll notice that at one point in the film, it's like kind of a blink and you'll miss it thing. One of the characters is wearing the same jacket that Johnny Depp's character wore in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh.
And I love things like that. That just like small things like that you just kind of blink and you miss them, sort of thing. Who didn't answer? Did someone not answer? I don't know if everyone answered that question.
I'm trying to think who, like, as a protagonist.
It's a hard question.
I think like for me, like, I love, like, The Shining is one of my favorites. So maybe like a Wendy Torrance. I just think she's like such a cool character, and I just love. I know like not everyone likes her performance, but I just think Shelley Duvall's performance in that is just like just out of this world. I just love. I love performance in that, and probably another one like maybe like Rosemary's Baby. I just think like just the shit that she goes through in that movie, and then like to come out the other side, and she really is like a proper protagonist in it. I think she's fantastic.
We've missed off the big one, Ripley.
Oh yeah,
that's a big one.
Yeah.
No, but I heard with Shelley Duvall, apparently that was the first ever year they did the Razzies, and I think she won the Razzie for her performance, and it didn't. I think it was the following year or since then they've rescinded that because they just said it was so unfair to like give her that because her performance actually wasn't bad. Because I think she might have been nominated for an Oscar. Because it's crazy. There was one a few years ago with Glenn Close called Hillbilly Elegy, and she got nominated for a Razzie and an Oscar at the same performance. It's just crazy how stuff like that works.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve a Razzie, I don't think, for it. Just like it's definitely. I just think it's such an unconventional performance. Like it's not like a bad performance, but it's just so different, and like her interpretation of the role is just really interesting. So maybe people, I don't know, maybe it was just kind of different to what people had seen before from like a character in a horror film. But I just think she, like, as an actual character, like she just goes through so much and kind of come out as like a kind of like a heroine kind of character in the film. So I really like the character,
because she's like, it's like like compared to other films, like where you've got the female protagonist and she's like doing things that are just not believable. Like she's like a normal person in it, and the things she does is like really believable, and it's like it's not like all the other films. Like in like for example, on Nightmare on Elm Street, the amount of stupid stuff that she does that should really have got her killed in that film. Whereas in The Shining, it's like it's more real. It feels her, and you can feel it in her performance as well.
Yeah, you can feel the fear like in every like sentence and every like movement. Like she's like shaking in the movie. Like she does look terrified.
Yeah,
I just think it's a great performance.
It's a shame she never really did anything else, because that is really what she was known for. That she wasn't really known for anything else. And then she kind of disappeared, and then I think she did a film just before she died. I still don't think it's been released yet, but she did an interview like about a year before she died because she did come out of retirement to do this film. So I don't know. I think it's quite a low budget indie film, horror film, but I don't think it's been released yet at all.
She wasn't like very, very kind of well, I don't think. Towards
no,
the
yeah, I think, was it lung cancer that she died from in the end, something like that? Yeah.
But she worked with like Robert Altman a lot over the years, and like I think like the performances she did for him were excellent and very like very diverse kind of characters. So
yeah. Hello, Larry. Bonjour. Has anyone watched The Electric State? And if so, is it as bad as people are making out? Yes, I watched it last night. And no, it's not as bad as everybody's making it out. I think I think the absolute highlight of the film for me is the score, which is done by Alan Silvestri, and the score alone just takes you back to some of those classic films, like Back to the Future. Like it's got that, like, or even the Avengers films. It's got that kind of thing to it, which obviously really fits with what when the film's set, like, because it's set in the early 90s. As in terms of the story itself, I can see why people are saying it's bad because the story is quite thin. But I think for me personally, I just enjoyed where it went and the different I mean, yeah, Millie Bobby Brown wasn't the best in it, but it's watchable. I'd say it's watchable. I'd say if you've got a Netflix account, give it a go and make your own mind up because it's decent. It's not as bad as it's not as trashy as people are saying. I think it is the most expensive film ever made. I think it was made for like something like $320 million. But I thought it was okay. I don't. It's not one that I'm going to go back to. Like most Netflix films, I don't think I go back to it very often. It is one of those that probably in a year's time I might not really remember much about. But when I was watching it, I had a lot of fun with it. So yeah, I'd say make your own mind up because I think it's one of those that it's just going to be down to the person and the mood they're in at the time of watching it because it's just, yeah, it's not like a very well made film, but still a lot of fun, I thought.
Yeah.
Not even heard of it.
No, me neither.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I've heard it.
the Russo brothers' new film. So obviously, I think what was their last film? Was their last film The Grey Man? I think was their last film, which is one that I actually really enjoyed, which was Ryan
Oh
Gosling.
yeah.
That was that was a lot of fun. But this is like it's like set in the 90s, and it's like there's been like an alternate history, and there's like been a war with robots and
Yeah.
humans, and it kind of set after the war. And like I say, the story's not. It's about a young girl, and she's trying to find her brother basically and get to the other side. But yeah, there's a great like Alan Silvestri did did like a cover like score wise of a lot of like big songs, like he did Don't Stop Believing, and then right at the end he did Wonderwall as well. So there's some quite nice moments in there. I think the ending teared me up a bit. It's quite a nice film, but yeah, it's got Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt's the other co-lead. And then you got huge like Stanley Tucci's in it, Giancarlo Esposito, Kiki Kwan. You got a huge voice cast as well. You got Woody Harrelson. Yeah, loads of people. But it's okay if you've got Netflix. I'd say give it a go and make your own mind up. I would say, yeah.
Just on the subject of Netflix, Ollie, there was one series that I was quite interested to check out. That new one with Stephen Graham called
Adolescent.
Adolescent.
Yeah, my mum watched. I've not seen it yet, but my mum watched it over the last few days. She said it was good, but it had a bad ending because it just kind of ended, and she didn't expect it to just end because it's only 4 episodes, and she thought it was more, but it's only 4 episodes. But because it's all shot in real time, and it's like supposed to be like one shot for the whole thing. So in that, I've heard good things about it, but my mum said she liked it, but she said she just didn't really understand why it just ended. But yeah, I'll give it a go because it's only 4 hours really in total, so I'll probably watch it at some point. But I've watched some series. I've been watching The Day of the Jackal, the one with Eddie Redmayne, the new series. That's quite good. I think I've got 1 episode of that to watch. And there's a new one with Paddy Considine, which is quite good, called Small Town Big Story.
Okay.
It's set in like a small town in Ireland, and it's about this American film production that's being filmed in this small town.
Okay.
But it's weird. There's like alien stuff involved. There's birds dropping out of the sky dead. It's quite good. Yeah, I mean, I watch anything with Paddy Considine in, so but I quite like it. I'm only 3 episodes in at the moment, but it's pretty good.
Where can you watch that one, Ollie?
That's on Sky or Now TV. I think it's on Sky Atlantic or something like that. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty good TV series wise. What else have I seen? Because I watch loads of TV. Toxic Town, the one about the poisoning in Corby. That poisoned there was the dust in the air basically poisoned all these pregnant mothers, and they gave birth to children with birth defects in the mid-90s, and it took them like I want to say about 15 years to actually get anywhere with it. They had to like get a big group together and they went to court, but the council were just trying to hide it, that they knew that it was causing harm to people. Really good stuff. It's got Jodie Whittaker in. Who else is in it? Oh, Robert Carlyle's in it. What's his name? Is it Rory Kinnear? Roy Kinnear's son. He's in it. He plays the women's lawyers. Yeah, that was only 4 episodes as well, but that was a really good one, I think. But yeah, I don't think I've seen anything else like really noteworthy that I can think of. Yeah, there's one out. There's one out this week. Oh, sorry, Sam. What were you going to say?
Sorry, Ollie. Sorry to interrupt you. I'll just quickly say, Ollie. When is The Last of Us coming back on the 2nd season?
I think it's like something like April the 11th. I think that's either The Last of Us or Doctor Who. I don't know which one. I think they're like in days of each other. I think Doctor Who is on the Saturday, and then The Last of Us will be on the Sunday. So that'll be an interesting weekend. But
that's brilliant for TV. That I'm looking forward to Doctor Who coming back.
Me
on
too.
As well.
The trailer looks good. Yeah, I think the trailer looks good for the new one.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's a series out this week on Netflix called The Residents. It's basically about a murder that happens at the White House, and it's basically about this detective that's sent in along with an FBI agent to like kind of find out what happened. But it looks crazy. It's like a comedy drama, I think. But it was supposed to have, do you know, Andre Braugher, who was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and he passed away just before they finished filming it, so they had to recast his role. So now it's Giancarlo Esposito instead. But I think they like made a tribute to him somehow. But it's got a crazy cast, like Kylie Minogue's even in it. It's just crazy. Yeah. So it looks like it'll be a lot of fun. So I'll probably binge watch that this week. I think that's out on the 20th, whatever day that is. I don't know what day that is. But yeah, that looks quite good. So yeah, some series to look forward to.
And do you know what's happening with Euphoria season 3, Ollie?
It's currently filming. I think it started filming about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it should be out next year sometime, probably early next year, I would say. I've still not seen the first 2 series, so I need to watch them because I know that I'll probably enjoy them.
Yeah, I can see you liking that one, Ollie, because obviously we love our drama and stuff. And the first season is amazing. The second season is all right. It was decent. It was a bit of a mixed bag, but hopefully the third season will be better than the second season. I mean, we had that with Stranger Things, of course. The first season was fantastic. Second season was just all right, as all right gets. And then third and fourth season was probably an improvement over the second season, in my opinion, definitely.
I'd imagine as well that this will probably be the last series because of how big the cast is now. I think that's the main problem why it's taken so long, because they're so big now. Because obviously you've got Zendaya, Sydney Sweeney, Jacob Elordi, and they're like huge stars now. So I think that was the big issue, getting them all together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Midnight Meat Train, fantastic movie. Got it on DVD. I don't know if it's a film that I'd like. Do you guys know if it's a film that I would enjoy?
I've not seen it, Ollie.
It's got quite a lot of CGI in it, and like some of the sort of kills, the way they're brutal. It's like CGI blood, but it's not badly done. Yeah, I think it's quite an underrated one. Yeah, I don't think it's ever had a Blu-ray release. I think it's still on DVD. Let's see if I got it up here. Yeah, I don't know if you can. See the case out with Vinnie Jones on the front. Who's
Yeah.
actually directed by? Oh, did I say that? Ruya Kitamura. It's directed by. I can't say I've heard else much by him, but yeah, it's obviously based on a book by Clive Barker. So he wrote Books of Blood, which like Candyman and Hellraiser and things are taken out of. It's based on a book by that, but yeah, kind of weird seeing a young Bradley Cooper in like a horror film. But yeah, it's not really jump scares. It's more, yeah, quite sort of gory, but kind of in a fun sort of way. But yeah, if you like films of like trains under subways and things, then yeah, I think it's quite a good one. Yeah, not as good as Creep by Christopher Smith, but yeah, it's pretty brutal. And like I say, it's got sort of CGI blood, which usually I can't stand, but it does actually work in it. And then it's got a little cameo by his name, you know, Sam Raimi's brother does a bit of acting. It tells me his name on the back. No, I don't think it does there. But yeah, Sam Raimi's brother's got like a little cameo. I think it's produced by Sam Raimi as well, to be fair.
Creep's the one with the deformed bloke on the underground, isn't it? Killing people.
Yeah.
I've not
it's
seen
one of
that
my favourite British horror films. Yeah.
Oh, I was right. Vinnie Jones is in Snatch. I thought he was in Snatch. I can't place where he is in Snatch, but I did think he was, because I did a video today, and looking at comments down below, he's obviously in 2 of the films that I mentioned today, but I won't spoil what it is because I don't know when I'm going to put it up, but it's a new video series that I thought of. But that was number 1. It was like a list, and that was my number 1 for me, Snatch, because it's just a film that I put on, and when I put it on, it just instantly makes me laugh and puts me in a good mood. It's just such a rewatchable film, and just so many funny one-liners and just funny moments in it. I just love it. It's definitely my favourite Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah, I prefer it to Lock, Stock.
I've still not seen that yet. I think mainly because at the time, I don't know if it still is, it was quite hard to come by the Blu-ray. It was quite expensive and out of print. But I don't know if it's still the same or whether you can get it again now. But I do need to give that a watch, because I've heard a lot of people like Lock, Stock more. Some people like Snatch more. So it'd be good to give them both a watch. Evening, chaps. Hello, Marcus. Yes, big fan of Midnight Meat Train. Vinnie Jones plays his role superbly.
Yeah, Mahogany, I think he's called in it. Yeah. He just walks around in a suit, kind of doesn't say anything in the whole film. I won't say why, because it's a bit of a spoiler, but yeah, it's a good role for him. Not saying he can't act, but he's kind of better at looking the part, isn't he, than delivering dialogue. Right?
Yeah. I like him in Gone in 60 Seconds. That's the other film I mentioned today in my video. I didn't even realise he was in that. I even read the cast off the back, and I can't remember even saying his name, but that's a decent film. Decent Nicolas Cage film. Yeah, Larry's saying Vinnie was Gone in 60 Seconds. Vinnie suited the Rise of the Foot Soldier films perfectly. I've never seen those films. They've never particularly really interested me. Is it good, the first one?
Yeah, I've not seen the others, but yeah, the first one's one of the best sort of British gangster films,
haven't they?
Yeah, I think one came out quite recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are good.
The twist in Midnight Meat Train is terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how easy it is to pick up. Obviously, I don't think it's ever had a Blu-ray, but even on DVD, I don't really see it around much anymore. So yeah, it might be a hard one to get, but yeah, I say it's worth watching if you haven't seen it.
Tim trying to look impressed at seeing a Barbra Streisand film. Yeah, you didn't really say anything when I picked it up earlier either.
Well, obviously Stuart and Jody have been singing the praises some of the films, so I've not really heard much about that yet until, but I wouldn't mind trying that Funny Girl. But obviously the criteria is really expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, we did talk about that. Yeah. It's definitely worth getting, but maybe not the 4K, because that is expensive. If you've never seen a Barbra Streisand film before and you don't love her like we do, then I wouldn't spend the £30 on it, because that's kind of a big dip for you to watch the film, and you might not like it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Meet the Parents is the only thing I've seen her in.
I think I'm the same as you, Tim.
Sam, that's poor
Yeah,
for
I
you.
don't think I've seen much with her in.
There's some you can get quite easy. Like I think, well, I say quite easily. They might not be very cheap, but like A Star Is Born, I got that quite recently on Blu-ray, and Hello Dolly's I think pretty cheap to get on Blu-ray. I've still not watched that yet, so I need to get on that soon. The Prince of Tides, that's got a Criterion, which I'm pretty sure I picked up quite cheap.
Yeah.
What else is there?
What's Up Doc
Lots.
is a really good one. That's like a
That's-
really
yeah, I
it's
think
like
you got
Peter Bogdanovich kind of comedy, like a
yeah.
situational comedy. It's really good.
I need to get that. I know there's a German release for that, so I might need to get that one. But there's a good one that I haven't got on Blu-ray or DVD actually, but I must have streamed somewhere. It's called The Mirror Has Two Faces.
Oh
It's
yeah,
got
with
Jeff Bridges in as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that film. It's just such a charming film, and it's got Lauren Bacall in it as well. Plays her mum. She's great in that. So I think she was nominated for an Oscar for that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a great film. If you can get hold of that, that's well worth the watch.
Mm-hmm.
My friend used to be an executive chef cooking for rich people in their homes. He once cooked a meal for Barbara Streisand and James Brolin in London. Well, that is a story. That's cool. That's
Cool.
pretty cool. I keep forgetting that they're married, but they've been married for like a long time now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Even over.
Yeah. It's just weird to think that Josh Brolin's stepmom's Barbara Streisand. It's weird. But I don't think they've ever been in anything together, though.
No, I don't think so.
No. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen Midnight Meat Train. What does a bit in it that is really disturbing, involving someone eating a human tongue. Oh God, that does sound a bit. Yeah, that does sound a bit disturbing.
Yeah, it's quite intense.
Laurie Strode from recent Halloweens, the new ones.
No,
I've
seen
heard I've heard they're
2018.
bad, but maybe she's good in them. I don't know.
Hmm.
From recent Halloweens, my favorite protagonist, badass lady for sure. Lol. Yeah, I still think if you're talking about female protagonists, it's either Ripley or Sarah Connor. Those are the two for me that I think just instantly stick to my head.
Yeah.
Horror protagonists for me, Andy Child's Play. I've not seen that. Sydney Scream, definitely 100%. And Laurie Halloween, but I really like Frank Grillo. Yeah, he's decent in the two Purge films he was in. Those are my favorite ones. I think the first three are the best. I didn't like the fourth one though, because that was like a prequel, and I've not seen the newest one.
Not seen any Purge films.
Oh, they're decent films. The first one's quite good. That's Ethan Hawke. That's more of like a home invasion film. And the second two, I would say, the second and the third are more horror in them, I would say, because it's on the streets and they're fighting them on the streets, whereas the first one's more confined to the one house. But they're good films, the first three, I'd say.
Yeah, it's quite original premise, isn't it? Like one night where you can just basically do anything you want, like, and there's no crime.
No laws. Yeah. What's everyone's thoughts? I don't know if everyone knows on the new Scream film, all the casting that's been announced. Has anyone read it? It's very odd. They're bringing back a lot of characters that have been killed.
Yeah.
Like David Arquette's coming back now. Obviously, Matthew Lillard's coming back somehow. And I don't know, the guy that played Ghostface in the third film. I can't remember his name. There's also rumors that Emma Roberts is coming back as well. I don't know what's going on. The thing that first popped into my head, but I don't know because I've heard other things, is that they're going like the new Nightmare approach, and doing like that, which I'd really like to see that, like them do something like that. But then I've also heard people say that it's AI, and Ghostface is using AI to taunt people, which would make sense. But yeah, I don't know if I'd like that they're bringing back these like iconic characters just to use them like that. It kind of feels like a bit of a waste. But I don't know. It comes out in less than a year, so we'll see soon enough.
I've not really heard anything about it.
What was that, Jody?
Did you like the last Scream, Scream 6?
Yeah, I like 6 and 5. I know a lot of people didn't get on with them. The only two that I didn't like that much was the third and the fourth one. The fourth one I didn't. Well, I didn't hate it because I love all the Scream films, but compared to the others, it just disappointed me a bit. But I think the last two are like kind of a return because they're like kind of linking in, like the obviously the fifth one kind of linked back to the first one, and the sixth one kind of linked back to the second one, obviously because Mrs. Loomis in the second one, and then if you've seen the sixth one, the killers obviously linked to the killers in the fifth one. So I kind of liked that, but yeah, I know a lot of people have kind of got bored of it now, but it's my favorite franchise, so I'm always happy to see a new one come out.
6 is probably the only one I didn't like. I thought the fifth was like fantastic in terms of kind of bringing it back, like reprising the whole franchise, and I just thought the sixth one maybe it felt like a bit rushed or something to me. I don't, like, it came out really soon after the fifth
came
one.
out a year after the fifth one, so it's probably But I didn't like the Dewey stuff in the fifth one. That just annoyed me with what they did, like with his character. That really annoyed me. Like, you just didn't expect it. It kind of came out of nowhere, and you're like, why did they do that? And then, like, I think that's kind of why maybe the sixth one didn't work for a lot of people. I think what I liked the most about the sixth one is that it completely changed setting to New York.
Yeah.
And I loved that opening bit.
With Samara
Obviously, Samara Weaving, I loved that bit. I just thought it was just perfect for like the opening of a Scream film. I think that's what they do best. The openings of those films. Obviously, the first one, I love because they kill off Drew Barrymore. So I love that. But yeah, I think the openings of the Scream films are like some of the best openings in horror films because it's just especially that first one. It's iconic.
Yeah.
The fifth one directed by Radio Silence, are they called, Ollie?
Yeah, and the sixth
Or
one,
Abigail one. Oh right, I might watch them then because I liked Abigail, and did they do
Yeah,
that's really good. Yeah, with
they're doing a second one of that.
No.
Yeah, be interesting to see what that's like because with the way that film, like the plot of that film, and with the way that it ended, obviously it's not going to be the same as the first one. It's going to have to be a different sort of thing if she's coming back because they could do it where it's completely different characters but the same sort of story, but then I suppose it wouldn't work because the whole point of that it was like a family thing. So but yeah, I love that because I love all of their films because they mix horror and comedy perfectly at the right moments as well.
Yeah, Abigail I really like.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I only watched that not that long ago. Never saw it at the cinema, but yeah, thought it was good. Reagan from The Exorcist is a good protagonist from a horror. I laughed. I know everybody loves it, but I just laughed my way through that first Exorcist film. It's just, I don't know, because to me, I think I've watched, again, it's a film that I've watched at a time, and it is old now. Like back in the day, obviously, when it came out, people were scared as hell because nothing like that had been shown on the screen before. But because I'm used to like a lot worse stuff in film now, I just and the stair scene, which is I think is only in the extended cut.
Yeah,
that I laughed so much during that because I just thought it was just so funny. But
like the crab walk kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and just the fact that she just kept using profanity throughout, just like coming from a child, I just found it quite funny. Obviously, back then they were probably really shocked because they've not seen anything like that before. So people that first watched it back then probably were like, that's why there's probably priests outside because they were like, this is not a good film to watch.
Yeah, well, they thought the film was cursed and stuff as well, didn't they? And if you watched it, you'd have bad luck. Like.
Well, it's one of those films that I remember being told about a lot when I was younger, like being told it's the scariest film ever made. There were priests out. So it kind of put me off of watching it for a long time because I was like, do I really want to put myself through that? And then as I got older, I thought, well, it can't be that bad, can it? I'm sure I've seen worse. So I put it on with my mum. And yeah, we both just laughed through it. I mean, she probably watched it when it first came out and thought it was really scary, but she hadn't seen it in years. So watching it again, I will watch it again because I still enjoyed it. I didn't dislike it at all, but I think I just took away something different from it than other people probably might have.
Yeah. I was 9 when I first saw it, so for me, like, it just had,
9.
yeah,
Jeez.
it was like, I just remember seeing it on like there was this like countdown on Channel 4 at the time of like the scariest horror scenes ever,
Yeah.
and like The Exorcist, like The Power of Christ Compels You scene where she's like levitating was number 2, I think, on the list, and
Yeah.
I was like, I have to know what this is. I have to see this film, and it came on TV, and it was on at like, I think it was on at like 11:30 at night or something, and my granny let me stay up and watch it, and like it was the most like fascinating and terrifying thing like I ever saw. Like, to me, it did traumatize me like when I was young. So I think maybe it's like when you kind of see it and how kind of what state you're in when you see it. I think for the first
Yeah.
time, that makes a big difference.
I think,
If you're young, like, I think it does.
yeah, and I think because I
You have-
watched it in the middle of the day as well,
Yeah,
that probably if I'd have watched it at night, maybe on my own,
Yeah.
I might have had a different experience with it. But I think it's all about the experience you have, like you say, the first time you watch it, like your
Yeah.
age, how you watch it, where you watch it, that sort of thing. The Razzies rescinded Shirley Duvall's award because the treatment she received from Kubrick came to light the year before. I knew it was something
Yeah, I
like
heard
that.
about
That
that.
was the reason.
Mm.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, from what I've heard, he was quite like a bully.
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah, he
But
like shouted at
obviously,
her on set until she
yeah,
cried, and yeah.
great. Obviously, he gave us some fantastic films, but yeah, I don't know. There's some films that because he died quite well. He was in his 50s or 60s, was he when he died? I think. But
Yeah, 50.
he was just about to do AI, wasn't he? But he handed the reins over to Spielberg before he passed away, and that's one
Yeah.
of my personal favorite Spielberg films. Underrated for definite, and a lot of people don't get on with it, but I just absolutely love that film.
Not seen it.
Oh, it's one of those films that I know Stuart would love if he hasn't seen it because it's so heartwarming. It's about a young boy that's a robot, basically, that this family adopt. And then for some reason or another, I can't remember exactly because it's been a while, they get rid of him and they just dump him in the middle of nowhere. And because of the way he's programmed, he just wants to get back home to his mum. And he meets up with Jude Law's character, who's also a robot, and they kind of team up, and he helps him to try and get home. But you got Robin Williams is in there, Meryl Streep. It's just a really hard, and it's got a really sad but happy ending. Definitely brings a tear to your eye if you like. That's Roy probably won't get on with it because it's sentimental as hell. But yeah, he keeps saying he's developed a reputation now, and he kind of has, because there's kind of a theme every time he watches like a film that's got any sort of sentimentality towards it. So, except if it's Bridget Jones, because for some reason he loves the Bridget Jones films.
Ollie, have you seen Bicentennial Man?
Oh, that's another one. Gets me
That's really
every
yeah.
time. The ending of that, I sob. I literally sob.
Yeah.
It's just so.
My God.
Like everything from his speech onwards to the end, and then the Celine Dion song at the just yeah, just thinking about it gets me. Yeah, that's a great film. Definitely an underrated film because it's Chris Columbus as well. So obviously with Mrs. Doubtfire, he did so many good films. I'd love to get a Blu-ray of Bicentennial Man because I've just got the DVD, and yeah, one of my favorites of Robin Williams.
It's got the what is it, Ollie? The same actress who played is it Miss Honey in Matilda?
Yeah,
She's in it as well, isn't she?
Yeah, she's great. She's popped up in quite a few things over the years.
Yeah, that's a great film though. I'd love to see that again. It's been absolute years since I've last seen Bicentennial Man. Matilda's a great film as well, but yeah, Bicentennial Man I think it's pretty underrated, definitely.
Yeah, you should get your hands on a copy of the DVD because it's pretty cheap. Well, I say that I got it about 3 or 4 years ago, so I don't know if it's still cheap. But to my knowledge, there's no Blu-ray release, or there may be like a Spanish release. But with the Spanish releases, it's a bargain whether they got like locked subtitles on, because a lot of the ones that I've had do. So, but yeah, I'd love to get see a Blu-ray release of that at some point.
Yeah, it's great.
Or Amanda from the Saw franchise is another great protagonist. I'm never going to watch those films because they're just not for me. Sam's the same, I think.
I'm with you, Ollie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'd say she
No.
turns from like, without spoiling it, from a protagonist into an antagonist kind of as it goes. So she's got quite a good arc throughout the. I've only seen like the first 3 and then the most recent one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say the first one, Ollie and Sam, it's got a bit of gore, but it's actually got story. It's a bit more of a thriller, like a detective kind of thing, a bit more like Seven. Whereas then obviously 2, 3, 4, it's just all about the traps and how elaborate they can make the sort of torture in. Whereas the first one, I'd say, because it got Morgan Freeman in it, I think.
Is it Danny Glover, Tim?
Oh, that's it, Danny Glover. Yeah, I'd say it's a bit more. It's got some gore and stuff, but it's not as in your face. It's a bit more about the sort of the mystery of it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Although some of the acting's really bad. Lee Winnell's not too bad in it, but I can't remember the name of the other guy. But when they're trapped in the toilet scene, his acting was really bad, I thought. Right? But in general, it's a bit more of a kind of mystery. It feels a bit more like Seven than a sort of torture porn kind of film, I would say. Right?
Yeah, it's Donnie Wahlberg, isn't it, in that, and Carrie Elwes as well, I think.
Yeah.
No.
The guy, I can't remember his name, but he's in the sort of scene with Lee Winnell, and his acting's quite bad. But it was kind of low budget film when it first started.
Yeah.
And obviously it's got a kind of shocking twist that I won't tell you. But the later one's just all about sort of the practical effects. Whereas the first one I'd say is a bit more of like an actual film. Like.
Yeah, I almost watched Spiral because obviously it was more. That's more of like a. They were try. That was when they were trying to make it mainstream because obviously Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, so I almost watched that, but I think the time it came out was right smack bang when cinemas just started opening again after the pandemic, and I just never bothered. And I don't think I'd enjoy it because I just don't like that sort of thing.
No.
Ash is here. Hello, Ash. Evening, guys and girls. Have a great stream as usual. I'll catch up tomorrow. Thanks for joining quickly, Ash.
Cheers, Ash. I will say as well, Ollie, I absolutely loved Ash's latest video when he talks about his journey with physical media.
Yeah,
I watched that. It was interesting.
That's really good.
I said to him, I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah, that'd be real cool.
Someone that shares my name, Oliver Blake. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Julie.
Hello, Julie.
Can't wait for Doctor Who Series 15 Season 2. Yeah, I hope it's decent because it could be the last series we get for a while. So I hope it's. I mean, I enjoyed most of the last series, but I hope generally in terms of overall quality, I hope it's better than the last one.
Yeah, I will say, Ollie, just a quick one on that. It's been at least what I've wanted, like better than the Jodie Whittaker era.
Oh, yeah,
and I said to myself, if it's at least better than that, and it already has been, so I'm pretty happy with that so far.
Yeah, I refuse to go back and watch any of her stuff now, into the point where I just got rid of all of her stuff that I had in my collection because I just trying to get it out of my head that it didn't exist, didn't happen. It was a dream.
God, it was a chore, wasn't it, man, watching that era.
There was episodes that I just missed because I just thought, why am I still watching this? I just skipped them and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, when it was announced that, and I will always praise what Chris Chibnall did with Broadchurch, but when it was announced that he was leaving... Sorry, Ollie.
I thought it would be good because Broadchurch was so good, and obviously already working with David Tennant, and then obviously future Dr. Jodie Whittaker. I thought that would be quite good, but the way he wrote it was just awful. It was just not Doctor Who.
Yeah, I don't think it suited his style, and it was such a shame because I loved what he did with Broadchurch, but when it got announced that he was leaving and RTD Russell was coming back, I was so happy with that.
Me too. Yeah. I watch your DVD collections, I think he means my TV collection, on your YouTube channel, and you still need to collect NCIS series 2 to 22 and the spin-offs. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get the spin-offs because the only one I watched was New Orleans, and I probably wouldn't bother getting them. But yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to get all, well, I suppose it's 21 series I need to get, although I don't think the 22nd's the one that's on now, so I don't think that's out yet. But yeah, I do love that. I don't know if any of you guys watch that, but I do
I've
love
never
that
watched
series.
it, mate.
It's just a nice. I watch it every Wednesday morning. It's just it's not every week. It's on Wednesday on Disney. It's just easy watching. It's just something I've watched for years now, and just like a staple for me. Just a great procedural. If you like procedurals, some great characters, great stories. You get some great guest actors. The one episode that sticks in mind, Christopher Lloyd was in one episode, and he played like an ex Navy officer that was suffering from dementia, but he was the key witness to a crime. That was a good episode. But yeah, it's decent. If you've got Disney Plus, you can just check out some episodes there because it's all on there. But yeah, it's gone on for quite a long time now. But I'd love to get the rest of them if they're affordable. Carlos is here. Hello, Carlos.
Hello, Carlos.
Hi, nice guy, Sammy G and Fuchs. If there's a movie that you could watch on the cinema back in the day, what would it be and why? Oh, good question.
Oh,
Ooh. As in for the first time when it was released, I'm guessing he means.
yeah, I think so.
Oh, I
Great question,
would
Carlos.
say something like, I don't know, something maybe like Psycho, because that had such a big twist in it for that time. And my grandparents said they saw it at the cinema, and the way that the cinema worked, because usually back in those days you could go in to the end of a film, watch the end of the film, and then it looped back and you could watch and it'd start again. And you used to be able to just go in, you pay for your ticket and you just go in and watch it from wherever it was. And they said with that film they wouldn't allow anybody in except for the start of the film because of that big twist. So I just love to that's one of the earliest films like that probably shocked people a lot because of that twist, because you don't expect it at all. You're expecting her to be the main character throughout the whole film. So I'd say something like Psycho.
I'd say Star Wars: A New Hope, just because I've known people that seen it when it first came out, and they said they've never seen anything like it in the cinema. Yeah, one of my mates who's about 50 or so now, he's seen it when he was like 9 or 10 years old, and he said it like blew him away. Obviously, no one had seen special effects like that. They'd never seen like such an epic kind of film. So yeah, apparently that was like one of the most sort of seminal films to see in the cinema.
Yeah, my granddad and my dad got the last 2 tickets in the cinema. I think it's the Odeon in Bristol to see it. And yeah, I think my dad was the same. It's just, it blew them away, especially someone, because my dad would have been like 8, I think, when it came out. So the perfect age to watch it. So, and I think he loves, I don't think he's seen the prequels or anything, but those original films, I like, he loves.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you other guys? What would you say?
You go first if you want, Jody.
I would probably just have to say The Exorcist, to be honest, because like I feel like I've always wanted to go to the cinema and have like the experience of being like terrified, and you know that whole thing where like people are like you know kind of running out, and people are like, you know, people were nearly like getting sick and everything in the movie theaters at the time, and just to have that kind of fear that it was such a big event at the time, I just think would be so cool. And that there was like such a hype around it as well. I think think the lead up to going into it just would have been so much fun. I'd probably pick that, or I would have loved seeing The Shining as well, actually, in the cinema at the time. You know, because I can imagine like just even the opening to The Shining is just so like ominous that like you know, I'd love to have been there when it opened to see that intro, and you just don't know what's going to come. I just think that would have been so cool.
I think in a way as well, The Exorcist is very similar to nowadays what we're getting with like the Terrifier films, like the experience people, because people are walking out, people are being sick. I'd imagine it's quite close to what it would have been to watch The Exorcist back in the 70s when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Sam?
Some of the ones like I would have loved to seen like back in the day and stuff. I've been fortunate to see some of them like when they've been reshown and at the cinema, like the Star Wars original trilogy. That's amazing on the big screen. The Shining. However, The Shining, I would love to see the extended version. I've seen the theatrical cut, which obviously was still amazing on the big screen because it's my favorite horror film of all time. But I'd love to see the extended cut of that. And And yeah, like again, The Exorcist would have been amazing to see back in the day as well. But kind of like films I haven't seen at the cinema that I would probably say again, Jaws would have made the impacts that Jaws would have made back in the day would have been astonishing. I did watch it a couple of years ago at the cinema, but like back in the day would have just been like nothing else that came before it. But I'm probably gonna go with something that I haven't actually seen at all on the big screen, and I've seen the movie, but probably Jurassic Park. I just think again,
cinema.
Absolutely, Tim. Like I would say, it just again, there has obviously been dinosaur movies that's come before it, but just nothing like the level what Steven Spielberg captured on the big screen, making it like his own visual treat. So I probably would go with something like Jurassic Park, possibly, or even Alien, because Alien was just so huge at the time, and there was nothing else like it captured before in regards to a sci-fi horror, and the two things blend together. So yeah, I probably would go with something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Jurassic Park was the best film I've ever seen at the cinema. I think I was like 9.
Yeah.
We went for like my mate's birthday party, and yeah, we was just blown away. You know, not only obviously dinosaurs when you're like a 9-year-old boy, like dinosaurs, but I think it was the first film with CGI that good. Really, I think there maybe been a few before. Was Twister out before? Few films, yeah, that had sort of some like computer generated, but yeah, I think Jurassic Park was the first one really. You know, that scene when you first see the Brachiosaurus in the cinema, the whole cinema's like shaking and stuff. Yeah, that was like best experience I've ever had in a cinema, Jurassic Park.
Yeah. One other one that's come to mind as well, Ollie, and I haven't seen this on the big screen, is the original Planet of the Apes from 1968, which is one of my favourite films of all time. I absolutely adore that movie. But also back in the day with that whole twist as well, which I don't know how I avoided that twist for the longest time that I did before watching it for the first time a couple of years ago. But watching that back in the day and that twist would have just been mesmerising. I was mesmerised by it when I watched it a couple of years back, because I've never seen the movie till 2 years back, and I've kind of avoided that twist ending. But just on the cinema and that impact back in the day would have just been astonishing.
Yeah. See, I'm the awkward age where for me, the film that impacted me the most, that was probably the most memorable, big experience for me, I would probably have to say was Endgame, which I know probably not a lot of people would say, because a lot of people had like the bigger films, the earlier ones. But just because of my age, I don't think, because I didn't really start seriously going to the cinema until I was like 15. Then I started going like really regularly, like once, even sometimes 3 times a week. So I think before that, there wasn't really any films that I saw at the cinema that were huge, because like I never saw Avatar at the cinema or anything like that. So I think the first one that really was like a huge film, and just generally the experience of watching it was just, I was blown away by, was Endgame, just because of how big that film was and how much of a payoff it was to all the films that came before it.
Yeah, absolutely, Ollie. And I feel, Ollie, like with the MCU and Marvel, like nowadays, you just don't have that kind of that same that same impact or that same buzz as you did with the MCU. Like obviously, like I say, back in the day, but like obviously like 5-6 years ago. But it would just be like trying to watch it like as fast as I could to avoid spoilers, and you know, trying to stay away from Twitter and that. It was just such a kind of exciting event, that film. But that crowd and the
Yeah,
atmosphere,
I know.
like you said, Ollie, was just amazing, wasn't it?
And I think with Infinity War as well, I distinctly remember it was in my last year at school. It was just before we were doing our exams, and everybody knew that I was really looking forward to watching it. And I remember everybody talking about like, oh, so and so's going to die, or so and so's, or this is going to happen, and just nobody had any idea how big that film was going to impact people. Because like both of those films, I think are now. I know Endgame's obviously the second highest grossing film of all time, and I don't think Infinity War is that far behind, but they're huge cinematic achievements, especially for like nowadays. But I'm looking for. I know obviously it's been bad recently. There's not been, like you say, the hype, but I am still looking forward to the next two Avengers films, mainly because the Russo brothers are back. So I think they could maybe bring it back to where it should be. And some of the concept art that was leaked, I don't know whether it's real or not. It looks really interesting the way, because it looks like they're going to go back in time to the medieval times, which apparently is what the comic book of Doomsday follows. But it'd just be great to see Robert Downey Jr. just giving a completely different performance, like a villainous performance. I just can't wait to see that on the big screen.
Yeah, I will say as well, Ollie, just to slightly go back on my word about like the MCU nowadays, I will say as well, I'm quite intrigued to check out the new Fantastic Four film, because we haven't had a really good Fantastic Four movie yet, in my opinion. I didn't mind both the movies from the 2000s. I thought they were all right. They were decent, watchable, but I think this one with the cast as well got the potential to have a good, solid Fantastic Four movie, so I'd be up for seeing that.
Yeah, I wasn't a lover of that teaser trailer that they released. It just kind of felt a bit. I don't know. It might be because they didn't really show anything at all. It could be a completely different film to what the teaser trailer is showing, but it gave off heavy WandaVision vibes, and that could be because it's the same director as WandaVision.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stand WandaVision. I might have been one of the few. I just did not get on with it at all. It got on my nerve. It, like a lot of the films have been, it felt like a chore to get through. The only episodes that I enjoyed were the last two, where it kind of jumped out of what it was before and became more MCU. I liked that it was ambitious for what it went for, but for me, I just didn't enjoy. It didn't fit within the MCU, I don't think.
Is it kind of set in the 70s or something, Ollie?
It's
never
like
seen it, but I remember
each week was like a homage to a certain decade of sitcom.
Right.
So like the first episode was like supposed to be like a 50s sitcom. So it literally was like you were watching a 50s sitcom, but with these two characters, and they're like stuck in this world. And each episode went through like a different decade and was inspired by a specific show of that decade. Until it got to a certain episode when they realized what was going on and where they were, and that's when it was starting to get a bit more interesting. But the early stuff episodes, I just like, what is going on here? What the hell is this?
I thought it was I quite enjoyed it at the time, Ollie, but I probably will agree with you here. Like I did quite enjoy it at the time, but it was definitely a bit like Loki season 1 or Falcon the Winter Soldier. I quite enjoyed it to a certain degree, but there's just nothing that screams rewatchability. It was kind of a one and done watch sort of thing.
Yeah, I think of the MCU series so far, I don't think any of them have really stood out to me that much. They've just not been, or they've started off really good and then they've just dipped significantly in quality. Like, there's been some that I thought, like, I enjoyed the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I enjoyed Loki. But then you've got stuff like She-Hulk.
Yeah,
which
I've heard
was
that's
just,
awful.
I don't know what they were thinking of when they did that.
Yeah, that was bad.
Secret Invasion was diabolical. What they did with that was awful, and it ruined a lot of the films before because of reveals that were made at the end. Miss Marvel was just why they did that. I don't know. She's really annoying anyway. That's why I hated the Marvels. I didn't really like Captain Marvel either, to be honest. Moon Knight was a bit of a weird one as well because it kind of didn't have a very good ending.
What about that
Yeah.
Nick Cage? I heard people like. I've never watched any of these series, but yeah,
Oh,
some people.
no, that
Nick
was
Cage
Secret
was good?
Invasion. No, that was
Right.
oh, Nick Cage. You mean Nick Fury?
Yeah. That might be. Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, it's like said it was quite martial arts kind of thing. Like,
Or I don't know. Shang-Chi, maybe that was like that was quite martial arts. That was
Legend of the
cool.
Ten Rings or something. Yeah, it might be that. I don't know.
I really
Yeah, that was
enjoyed that,
good.
Ollie. I had a good time with that one.
Of the post Endgame ones, that could be my favorite.
Yeah. I'd say that, Guardians 3 and
Spider-Man.
No Way Home, they're probably been
Yeah.
my favourites since Endgame, definitely.
I'm intrigued as to what Spider-Man 4 is going to be about because that's coming out in just over a year, and they've just cast Sadie Sink. Don't know who she's playing, but everybody's saying that she's going to play Jean Grey because that's been the big rumor that's been going around. A lot of people are saying she's going to play Mary Jane, but I said that doesn't make sense because there already is a Mary Jane in the universe, so that doesn't really make much sense. So I think they're going to start introducing the X-Men. It would make sense because I know there's definitely going to be X-Men in Secret Invasion, and obviously this next Spider-Man film is going to come out in between the two Avengers films, and Secret Invasion is going to have so many. Apparently, it's got like 60 characters in, over 60 characters. There's talks of Deadpool, like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. All of the Spider-Man, like apparently it's going to be crazy, but that's I'm a bit worried that if they put too many characters in it, it's just going to overload it and it's just not going to be good.
Yeah, see how it goes, bud.
Yeah. Went to see Elm Street 3 at the cinema in 1987. That was a wild experience. Movie face-offs, preferred movies and why. Psycho versus Halloween, Alien. Oh, Psycho versus Halloween, Psycho. Purely because I haven't seen Halloween, and Psycho's just, I love Hitchcock. One of my favorite Hitchcock films, so definite. Alien versus The Thing, gotta be The Thing. You know, The Thing's one of my favorite sci-fi films.
Yeah, probably my one and two favorite. I said
yeah.
Alien and The Thing, probably my 1 and 2 sort of favorite films ever. So hard to decide, but yeah, probably The Thing.
Yeah. And then Nightmare on Elm Street versus Candyman. I have to say Nightmare on Elm Street because I've not seen the original Candyman. And The Burning versus Friday the 13th. I've not seen either, so I can't comment on that.
The Burning as well.
Yeah. What about the other ones, guys? What would you say?
Do you want to go first, Jody?
Yeah, Psycho versus Halloween. I'll probably just have a soft spot for Halloween because it was definitely one of like the earlier horror films that I ever kind of watched. Like I watched it when I was like a young teenager, so I just kind of have a soft spot for that one. And Alien or The Thing, I probably would have to go for The Thing because the Alien was like a later one as well that I saw. Like I didn't kind of grow up watching Alien, so again I probably have more of like an affinity to The Thing, and I just think like everything about The Thing is just fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm like Ollie. I haven't seen the original Candyman, but I do have it on DVD, but I just haven't got around to it. So probably Nightmare. But yeah, The Burning is so good as well.
Yeah. By the way, Ollie, I forgot to mention just on a quick one on the subject of Alfred Hitchcock. I did watch North by Northwest for the first time, and
that's my favorite.
God,
that is my favorite.
What a fantastic film that was! I absolutely loved that. I gave it a full 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, man. It's just incredible.
Yeah. It's
Blew
the
me
first
away,
one I watched. Yeah, it's the first Hitchcock film that I watched, and just blew me away. I just thought, if this is like what Hitchcock does, I'm gonna love his films. And so far, I've only been disappointed in 2 of his films, and that was Family Plot, which was his last film, and Suspicion, which is one of his earlier films with Cary Grant, which I didn't love. Wasn't bad, but I didn't love it. But all of his other films I've seen, I've just adored all of them for different reasons.
Yeah, I would probably say, Ollie, kind of just to change a little bit with my top 3 Hitchcock films, I think I would now go Rear Window, North by Northwest, and Vertigo, and they're just all near 10 out of 10 movies, just phenomenal. So no, North by Northwest is just absolutely brilliant. But yeah, this face off, I love it when Carlos asks these questions as well. I think I would have to go the original Halloween. I do absolutely love Psycho though, and I do really like Alien, but I absolutely got nothing on John Carpenter's The Thing, in my opinion. Alien's still a really good film though, but The Thing's just one of my all-time favourites. It's in like my top 40. And I would probably say I do quite like Candyman. I must admit, I do much prefer Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. See what I did there? Made a bit of a dad joke there, Ollie. But I would definitely much prefer Elm Street all the way, definitely. And I think The Burning is fantastic. I rewatched it last week, but yeah, I'd have to go the original Friday the 13th on that one.
Nice. Hello, James.
Hi, James.
Sorry, Sammy, but I don't like Evil Dead much. Just not a fan of Ash or Bruce Campbell. I much prefer Nev Campbell as Sidney. Also, I know he's a Marvel character, but I love Blade as the protagonist too.
Yeah,
yeah, that's fair. That's cool.
And Celine from Underworld.
Need to check out Underworld. Never seen that.
I've never seen any of them. Yeah, she's in tight leather, isn't she? She's like a vampire hunter. Yeah. Another one. Here we go. The Exorcist versus the Omen. Exorcist, because I've not seen the Omen. Oh no, that's a hard one. That is a hard one. The Fog versus the Mist. I honestly don't know if I could answer that, because those are two of my favourite horror films. Oh, you stumped me there. I might have to come back to that one. Dawn of the Dead versus Day of the Dead. Well, I've seen the remake of Dawn of the Dead, so I'd say I know he's probably talking about the original, but that's the only one I've seen, so I'd have to go for that. And the Amityville Horror versus the Changeling. I've not seen either yet. I've got the Amityville Horror on my shelf still to watch, so hopefully I'll watch that soon. But yeah, don't know. But yeah, I'll have to think of the other one because it's just too hard. What about you guys?
I'd say hard out of The Exorcist and The Omen. I'd say The Exorcist is a better made film. I think it's probably the best made horror film, but it's not my favourite. Whereas The Omen I probably enjoy more. The Mist is amazing, but I'd have to say The Fog, just better atmosphere. Day of the Dead over Dawn of the Dead for me. I just prefer the main villain guy. I'm not a massive fan of the Amityville Horror. I'd have to watch it again. I haven't seen it in years, but I find it a bit boring. So yeah, easily The Changeling is one of my favourite horror films ever. The Changeling.
You got first, Jody?
Exorcist and Omen, definitely The Exorcist, but I do love The Omen. I think The Omen is probably still in my top 10 horrors of all time. But The Exorcist, I have to pick that. And then I haven't seen The Mist. I know it's one that I really need to see. I really need to see that, so I have to pick The Fog. And then I haven't seen either Dawn or Day of the Dead. I know. I just have not when it comes to like zombie films and stuff, I'm really, really lax. And then Amityville and the Changeling. They're very probably very close, but I probably have to go Amityville. Just very, very kind of very, very closely.
Yeah, I'm with Tim on this one. I do really like The Exorcist, and not taken away from it, I think it is an absolutely fantastic horror film, and definitely one that's grown on me over time. I think it's grown on me with each viewing, but I definitely would say I probably definitely prefer The Omen. I just think that film was I thought that was absolutely amazing on first viewing, and I've loved that film ever since. Need to check out the sequels though, because I've heard the sequels are really solid. Not seen any of the Exorcist sequels, but I've heard the third one, like Tim gives that one high praise. He says it's absolutely fantastic. So really looking forward to checking that one out when I do. And I've not seen The Mist. I've heard it's really good, but I would be very surprised if it tops The Fog for me personally, because that's just my favorite John Carpenter film. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Like that and The Thing are just very close. So they're just like not almost equal, but I would just by smidge give it to John Carpenter's The Fog as my favorite John Carpenter film. And I only watched the original The Dead trilogy for the first time back in October, but I'm probably in agreement with, I think possibly Tim and Stuart. I would say Day of the Dead's my favourite. Dawn is still absolutely fantastic though, but yeah, Day of the Dead I would say is my favourite. And yeah, same as Tim, I wasn't big on the Amityville Horror on first viewing. I was a little bit underwhelmed and I need to give it another viewing, but The Changeling, very underrated, fantastic film. That really enjoyed that.
Nice. Hello, Andy.
Hello, Andy.
Have you ever seen The Collector and the Collection or Dead Snow 1 and 2? I've not seen any of those, no.
I've not seen any of those.
All of them. Collector is amazing. I think one of the best modern horror film. I say modern, it's probably 20 years old now, but sort of post-Scream, one of the better ones. Collection, not as good. Yeah, Dead Snow 1 and 2 are really good, kind of like Nazi zombie films. But yeah, The Collector, I think, is a brilliant film.
Nice. Great choices. Psycho, Star Wars, The Exorcist, and Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Awesome stuff, Carlos.
Watching E.T. as a kid and watching Terminator 2 as a teenager was something special, and seeing those effects. Wow. Yeah, E.T. being one of my favourite films, that's another one I would have loved to see in the cinema when it came out, because
yeah,
I mean, it already brings me a lot of joy when I watch it, but I can imagine being a kid watching it at the cinema. I can't imagine what that feeling must be like. Cinema watch for me back in the day, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Can imagine that was terrifying on the big screen back when it first came out. Clockwork Orange, yeah, that's definitely a big one, because obviously that got banned for like over 20 years, didn't it? It got banned for. So yeah.
I remember about 99 it got re-released into cinemas. I think it was the same year Blair Witch came out, wasn't it? Yeah, and I didn't go and see it, but I remember when I think we was watching Blair Witch and it came up on the trailer, and we was just like, you know, even for a film that was that old, it still kind of did look like controversial. Right? Yeah.
It's because I think it was something to do with Kubrick. When he died, the rights went back, so they were allowed to release it then. Because I think they had to make a few cuts for it to pass the board, which is why originally it never got put in. It was banned because he would. I don't think he would make the cuts that were needed to get it through the censors. So I think that might have been the reason why it was banned for so long, because he just refused to change it. Yeah, he said Clockwork Orange would also have been superb to experience. I agree with that one.
Yeah, soundtrack to it is amazing. Right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I saw that Tyneside a couple of years ago, and it was actually a first time watch for me. I loved it. It was after when I read the book as well, which the book is also fantastic. Yeah, great film. That
quite traumatizing, isn't it, to think that's like, because it's very, it has like quite a bold statement that kind of echoes even more so today, like the stuff that's going on, like the way, like, I suppose kids treat society nowadays, and gangs and stuff, and it happens even more now than ever. So I think it's very relevant today as well, and just the way that they tried to condition him to stop the violence is just brutal. I mean, we need to get Roy under that with like Forrest Gump and Grease, like get him into that chair with his eyes open. It'll make him love them, or it'll make him scream whenever anything with Tom Hanks comes on the screen. Who knows?
Yeah. I wonder, Ollie, if he would ever give and I love this film, Dirty Dancing. I wonder if he would ever watch
I don't think he'd
like that
ever
at some
give
point.
that. I love it as
that
well,
film.
but I don't think
It's
he'd ever.
brilliant.
They're supposed to be doing a sequel, aren't they? But it just doesn't seem to get off the ground. It's got supposed to have Jennifer Grey in it, and the number one reason I've got faith in it is because of the director. I don't know. I can't remember. It's Jonathan something, and he directed Warm Bodies, which I loved, and he directed Long Shot, which was the film with Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron, which again, if you've not seen it, fantastic comedy. One of my favorite comedies of 2019. So I think because of that, because he's directing it, if it ever happens, I'd be interested to see where it goes because it'll be set in the 90s now because of the time gap between the films. But I'd be interested to see what they do with it and how they respect Patrick Swayze's memory, because I'm sure that will be in the story somehow. Yeah, but the original is just what a film. Like, don't put baby in the corner, and yeah, just love that film.
Need to get that on Blu-ray, Ollie. Sorry, Tim.
I said I think Roy liked Ghost, and that's a kind of sentimental.
Yeah, but it's quite dark as well, isn't it?
Yeah, when the shadow demons come.
Yeah, but yeah, I got I don't know if it's worse. I'm not going to get out to get it. I got a nice box for Dirty Dancing, and it comes with like postcards, a poster, a little booklet, and the Blu-ray. I think now you could probably get it for the same price as the normal Blu-ray for like about £8. But it's nice edition. It's in like a pink box. I got it years ago now, but yeah, it's one of those films that again you put on to put yourself in a good mood because it is one of those types of films, feel good film.
Yeah.
Have you seen the reports that Neil Blomkamp is going to be directing a remake of Starship Troopers? I'm not sure how I feel about it. I say leave Starship Troopers in the past. The first film was really good for its time, for what it was. I've heard the sequels are diabolical. I don't see Neil Blomkamp taking it on being a good thing. He's a great director, but I think he should stick to original stuff. I don't think taking on big franchises is particularly good. And I just don't know if I'd want to see a remake of Starship Troopers because I think that original worked so well because it just balanced the cheesiness so well, not taking itself seriously. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, because I'd like to see them do something maybe a bit like what they're doing with Anaconda, which is like where it's fans of the original film are getting together. A bit like because it's the same director as The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, the Nick Cage film, and I've heard it's very similar along the lines of that. It's very meta. So if they did like a Starship Troopers, but then again, I don't know because it's sci-fi, so I don't know how that would work. But I suppose if they did that, it would be a bit like Galaxy Quest, I suppose. Then, so it'd be completely different. But yeah, I don't know. I love the first film, but I'm not sure if I'd want to see a remake. What about you guys?
I only watched the original for the first time back in September. But yeah, Ollie, I totally agree. I just think there's no business for that movie to be remade. It's great as it is, yeah, and I would say, yeah, it doesn't need to happen. But if it turns out to be good or at least decent or all right as remakes go, then yeah, fair enough. But it's just gonna have nothing on the original. Definitely not.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, so
it's just so cheesy. It's so cheesy. If you love a good cheesy film.
It's got a lot of like commercial bits in it, hasn't it? Where it sort of shows commercials about the bug, same as all Paul Verhoeven's films, but same as RoboCop. And I think he's the best at doing that kind of like commercial satire. So I don't think Blomkamp would be able to recreate that sort of feel of it. Yeah, especially in RoboCop, there's all the adverts with like, I'll buy that for $1. And yeah, I think Verhoeven did that the best of any director. So yeah, I don't think he'd be able to do Starship Troopers the same if he didn't have that kind of style to it.
And
it's
also,
very much. Sorry, go on, Sam.
Sorry, Ollie. I'll just quickly say this, Ollie, and I've found as well, you know, when RoboCop and Total Recall, also Paul Verhoeven films, have got remade, the reception hasn't been
Awful.
particularly good with them films, and just wouldn't have, even if they turned out all right, they wouldn't have topped the originals to begin with. But yeah, this could be that similar bracket here to Starship Troopers. I hope if it does come out and if it's decent, fair enough, but just it's just gonna have nothing on the original for sure.
I think the issue is because they're films of their time, like the ones like RoboCop and Total Recall, they didn't translate well into remakes because they are very much films of the time. They keep products of their own time, and I feel exactly the same for Starship Troopers. I think it came out at that time. I think, what was it, 97? I think it came out.
Yeah,
where
that's right.
You were getting a lot of these like sort of like the same sort of time as Galaxy Quest and all these sort of like, and all the other Paul Verhoeven films. Like, I don't think it would translate well to a modern audience, like of people like my age and younger, because I suppose that would be the target audience they're going for. And I just don't see people my age or teenagers wanting to go and see something like that nowadays.
Yeah.
I actually see a year on it.
I'm sure it's 97.
It's definitely late 90s, but can't seem to see it on there.
I can't. Oh, I can see mine up there, but it'd be a stretch to get it. I'm old enough to have watched Empire Strikes Back on opening night. What an experience.
Wow.
Also knowing that spoiler before most of my mates at school was awesome. Yeah, I can imagine that's another one.
Wow.
Of all the Star Wars films, I only watched that recently for the first time because I was never a big Star Wars person. Never really got into it. All I'd seen was the sequel films, which were obviously not well regarded or well liked. And I watched A New Hope a few times, but it never really clicked with me. So I wasn't in a rush to watch The Empire Strikes Back, but I think with everyone saying, oh, it's one of the best sequels ever made, you'll love it, I went in with an open mind, and I just loved it. It is an experience watching it for the first time, and to watch it in a cinema for the first time when it came out, not knowing the spoiler, incredible, I would think.
Yeah.
You have the power to eliminate a hated horror movie from history from a franchise. Which one would you choose? Halloween Resurrection for me, it totally sucked, and Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Not that it's an awful film. It just doesn't. It's not up there with the first two. I'm gonna say The Conjurer and The Devil Made Me Do It, because it's just not up there with the level of quality of those first two films. It would have been good to see, although I know we're getting a fourth and final one, which I'm hoping will be up there with the first two. I just think it should have been of a higher quality, because those first two Conjuring films, two of my favourite horror films ever.
Yeah.
I would say Freddy's Dead from the Nightmare on Elm Street series. I don't like that one at all.
For me, it's probably Exorcist Believer. I just think that film just needs to.
I'm the only one that likes that.
I just think it was such an abomination to the original, and I think if William Friedkin and William Peter Blatty were still alive, I think they would absolutely detest it. Like, it just.
Well, he was against it, wasn't it? Because it came out or it was being made whilst he was still alive, William Friedkin, and he was so against it. I remember seeing articles saying that he just thought it never should have happened.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he ever got a chance to watch it, but I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it for what it was. But the eye scene with Ellen Burstyn, I think that's what probably got a lot of people.
Yeah, it really pissed me off, the scene where she was giving out about the priests and their patriarchy. That really, really wound me up the wrong way, because in the first movie, the priests saved Reagan, they saved her daughter's life, and then she kind of just took a dump on them in that one, and I thought it was so like unfaithful to the character. I just thought everything about it I really felt like he didn't understand the film, like he didn't understand the source material. I just think that's why it was so bad.
From what I've heard, he's not a very good horror director because he did the 3 Halloween films, didn't he? And they weren't well received either. So I think he's going back to his he did one last year with Ben Stiller called Nutcrackers, which I really liked. It's like a really small indie film set at Thanksgiving. I think that's on Disney, but I think he needs to stick to that. I think I got one today that he directed called Joe, which has got Nicolas Cage in. He's decent. He's a decent director when he does those sorts of things. I think he needs to stick to those sorts of things instead of trying to do big horror IP stuff, because I just don't think he's good at handling that. We'll see what Mike Flanagan does, because he's got the reins for the next Exorcist film, which is supposed to be out next year. So he's a decent director, so we'll see what he does with it.
I'm nervous, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I loved Doctor Sleep, and he seems to have done a good job with the series he's done on Netflix, and he's got that new one out called The Life of Chuck with Tom Hiddleston, which is supposed to be like amazing. It's like, wow, there was a teaser trailer that came out the other day, and it just hooks you straight away because it says based on the Stephen King novel, author of The Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, and Stand By Me. So you immediately know it's going to be that sort of tone. And then it says from the wonderful mind of Mike Flanagan, and it's so bright and colourful, just that minute-long trailer. And I've heard the reviews and the comments I was reading on that trailer that it's just such a wonderful film. Very much from what I've read of the description, a bit like Benjamin Button. I think it's about a man's life but backwards. So yeah, I think that's out in June, so I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, I think Mike Flanagan's one of the best modern horror directors,
Definitely,
personally. Yeah, if anyone's seen this, is his first film, I think, Absentia.
No, I've not seen that one.
Real like slow burn, and then Oculus with Karen Gillan is a good one.
I've heard of that one, yeah.
Yeah, I've not seen a bad film by him, and I really like the Hell House series, whatever it was called. Hill House, was it?
Hill House, yeah. I watched some of one. What was it? The last one he did. I can't remember what it was called. It was based on a book, and I think they did a film with Vincent Price. Oh, The Fall of the House of Usher. That's what it was.
I haven't heard of that. I know he did the one with the woman's handcuffed. What was that called?
Oh, Gerald's Game. Yeah.
I've heard that's good, but I've not seen it.
That was
and he did Midnight Mass. I think that was the series he did. And was there one called Midnight
Ouija
Club as well?
too.
Ouija, yeah, he did that.
Yeah, surprisingly good.
Yeah, and he's got the rights to do a series for The Dark Tower for Amazon. Be interested, because again, I'm probably one of the only people, but I quite enjoyed that film. I will say it's not one that I'll probably watch again, but I enjoyed that. I saw it at the cinema. It was one that came with my Blu-ray player when I bought it, the 4K. But surprised to say it's not in my collection anymore, because like I said, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I probably won't go back to it again. I like Matthew McConaughey in it, but yeah, it was all right.
Sammy made a choice.
Yeah, to be honest, like the ones I've heard where there's a couple of really shocking like sequels where, because I've only seen the original for The Exorcist, and I'm yet to check out a couple of them sequels. Halloween, only seen the first 3. Elm Street, I've only seen the first 4. I've only seen the original Friday film. So, and The Omen, I've only seen the original of as well. So, and I've heard there's been a couple bad sequels along the way, but I just haven't got to them yet. I can only just predict that maybe 1 or 2 of them sequels down the line I'll end up enjoying. But non-horror, Ollie, I would say Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. I could not stand that film. I was really bored. It's got its fans, and fair enough, but it just didn't do much for me, unfortunately. And probably Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Really didn't like that film as well.
Did you like the
No.
newest Pirates of the Caribbean one? The
I
last one they
didn't.
did.
I didn't watch it, Ollie, because on Stranger Tides I really didn't get on with.
The first three are definitely the best, but I still enjoy On Stranger's Tides, and I think it's Dead Men Tell No Tales or something like that, or
Yeah,
Salazar's Revenge. I can't remember what it was called over here. Different names, but I thought it was Javier Bardem was great in the last one.
yeah.
And it looks like we might be getting him back for another one, hopefully. I know he said he
Okay.
wasn't ever going to work with Disney again, but there are rumors that he is going to pop up in the next one that they do.
Yeah. Do love the first three, Ollie. First three are great.
They need to take it back to that. They need to take it back to the like his character being the campiness and the just what that original film created. I think they need to get the director Gore Verbinski back. Jerry Bruckheimer's got to be involved, I think, for it to work. And I think Disney need to, because I think what might have happened with the last two is I think that was a little bit of Disney interference, telling them what to do. And I think with films like that, just let the creator, let the visionary storyteller just do what they need to do to make a good film.
Yeah.
Return to Salem's Lot, absolute garbage. Thanks for
Didn't
letting me
know that
know,
was a thing.
because I did watch the first one last week, which I loved. But yeah, I will not watch that. I am interested. I think you said as well, Sam. I am interested to see the remake that came out last year,
Yeah.
because
No, I think
that
it's
looked
quite good.
interesting. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I'm hoping that even if it only gets a DVD release, because I know it was in cinemas over here. So even if they just really chuck it onto DVD at some point, I'd still love to grab a copy to check it out.
Yeah, I've heard from a few people that was actually pretty good and like one of
Yeah.
the better remakes in recent years. So yeah, I'd be open to giving that one a go now. And like yourself, Ollie, recently only watched the original for the first time and I loved it. I think I watched it in one night as well. Really
Yeah, me too,
engrossed
yeah.
by it, definitely.
Yeah, I think the director of the new one has directed a few of the Conjuring universe films. I don't know if it's any of the good ones or the bad ones, but yeah, at least it's a director that's experienced in horror. So it'd be interesting to see what and I'm pretty sure I read that Stephen King said that he absolutely loved it, this remake,
Oh, nice.
more
Yeah.
so than the original film. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere saying
yeah.
telling people that they need to go and watch it, because I think he said it's one of his favorite adaptations, which just really intrigues me, because obviously that original, even though only just watching it, is so good.
Yeah.
But I've heard it's quite different, the remake, so I'm definitely intrigued to give it a watch.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Salem's Lot, Jody?
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. I
Great,
just think
innit?
it's so like some of the scenes in it are so creepy. And again, it was one of the ones that I kind of watched like on TV when I was really young. So like I kind of still have that like feeling of like obviously not afraid, but like there's still that kind of creepiness around like the vampires and everything in that. And yeah, I love it. I haven't seen the new one though, the remake.
Yeah. I thought it was not too bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good question. Ghost or Dirty Dancing? Dirty Dancing for me.
Yep, same Ollie. I haven't seen Ghost. Need to check that out.
Oh, I love both, but probably the one I rewatch the most is Dirty Dancing, because it's like a really easy, just throw it on and glass of wine in hand, and like you're gonna have a good time with it every time.
Yeah. Roy, if you're watching, you need to watch Dirty Dancing, mate.
We need to set.
Great.
If he was here, we know that would be his homework for the week. What about you, Tim?
Ghost. I'm not a massive fan of Dirty Dancing. My sister and my mum used to watch it all the time when I was a kid, so it used to annoy me. But yeah, it's a bit too like musical, and I wouldn't say cheesy. Like I'm with Roy on Grease. I can't stand Grease. Just John Travolta's cheesy face when he's singing just cringes me out. Whereas don't hate Dirty Dancing, but yeah, Ghost much prefer that.
Nice.
Dirty Dancing definitely has more kind of raw kind of scenes, I think, than Grease. Like Grease is very like, I don't know, in your face happy, whereas Dirty
Yeah.
Dancing,
Yeah,
like
it's a bit sort
the
of
edgy
risque,
thing.
isn't it?
Well, there's
Yeah.
like in Dirty Dancing, there's the whole like, I'm sure it was. I've seen
thing.
because I've seen quite a lot of. I've seen because they did like a TV version about 10 years ago now, which I've watched, and I know it was in that, but I haven't seen the original since before that. But I know that there was like some sort of miscarriage scene or abortion scene.
Abortion kind of got.
Was that in the original as well? Yeah. So that's obviously quite dark.
Yeah.
I'd get rid of Exorcist 2. I don't think Jody would like that.
It's not as bad as people say.
He's corrected himself though. He said, "Actually, no, I'd get rid of Exorcist Believer."
What about Dominion in the beginning? I thought those were awful.
Yeah, I didn't like those at all.
Boring. That's the thing. Exorcist 2 isn't a great film, but at least it's entertaining. Whereas, the two prequels, not only badly made, but just so boring. I found.
And a bit like over the top or something. Like I think the what makes The Exorcist so great is that it's very like simplistic and you really imagine it happening in real life. Whereas some of the scenes in like the Exorcist beginning were just a bit mad, and like it kind of takes you out of it a little bit. But
CGI on the hyenas is like the worst CGI I've ever seen. It's awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd get rid of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Much as I have a soft spot for Sherry Moon, Zombies, those unicorn dream sequences were dreadful.
Yeah, I agree. I very rarely do I ever switch a film off, even if I don't like it. I try and watch it the whole way. But with Halloween 2, I think I only got like 10 minutes in. I couldn't watch it.
Jason X should be deleted from existence.
Well,
Wow.
Arrow don't think so.
Well, I've got it on pre-order site, so I look forward to watching it.
Jason goes to space.
Jason goes to hell as bottom, he said.
I've got that on pre-order as well. Look forward to watching it.
No, actually Manhattan. It's weird why they chose the two lowest rated Friday the 13th films to put out on 4K on Arrow. It's just weird. Whose movies would you prefer and why? Halloween versus Friday the 13th? I could say neither for them because I've not seen any from either of those franchises. Stallone versus Arnie. Arnie because he's made more quality films than Stallone. I think there's more better Arnie films than there are Stallone films. If you looked and analyzed, I think I've looked before, and I just think I enjoy more of Arnie's films than I do of Stallone's, because I think outside of like the Rocky films, the Rambo films, there's not really many films that are great for Stallone. Marvel versus DC, or now I'd probably say, now I'd probably go with DC. If you'd have asked me like 10 years ago, I'd have said Marvel because DC was awful back then. But I think DC are definitely redeeming themselves now, and Marvel's just, I don't know what's happening with Marvel at the moment. They need to do something. An Elm Street versus Scream all the way for me. What about you guys?
I'd say Halloween over Friday the 13th. I've said this a few times, but I'm not a massive fan of any of the Friday the 13th films. I think they're all a bit overrated. Final Chapter is quite fun, but yeah, Halloween, especially the first one, is definitely a better made film. I think Stallone is a better actor than Arnie. Obviously, he can deliver lines in that better than Arnie can, whereas films like Terminator and Predator, I'd say are better than, First Blood, one of my favourite films ever with Stallone in, so hard to tell. But yeah, I'd say Arnie's been in better films, but Stallone's the better actor. DC over Marvel, definitely. Just because Batman Returns and that, I guess, is DC property. And then, I'd have to say Elm Street over Scream, because I've only seen the first 3 Scream films, and other than the first Scream, I didn't love them. Whereas, Elm Street, there's at least 3 or 4 that I really enjoy.
You go first, Jody.
For me, probably Halloween I probably would prefer Halloween. I've never massively gotten into the Friday the 13th. I like the 4th one, but I just like it because Crispin Glover is kind of so wacky.
Dancing, it's really crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that one. I just kind of find it kind of campy and fun.
Mm.
Halloween, I probably would pick Halloween as a whole. And Stallone or Arnie, like I actually do want to get more into both of their films. So like I can't really kind of decide because I don't have enough. Like I haven't seen enough to kind of to say. And then for Marvel and DC, probably just Marvel, just solely because of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, because I just I can't live without those. I love those movies. And then probably Scream as well. For me, I love Scream, especially the second one. Second one is my favorite.
Yeah, one of the best sequels ever made.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I would probably, because I've only seen the original Friday the 13th and the original Halloween and Season of the Witch being one of my favourite horror films ever. I love the original Halloween, so I probably would have to go for Halloween for that one. Stallone versus Arnie. Coincidentally, Ollie, I've been working my way through the Rocky film series. Need to get Rocky Balboa in 4K actually, possibly this week, and that's just reminded me. But yeah, I totally agree though. Arnie's definitely done a lot more like well established and well significant like blockbusters and not just so many fun movies, but not taken away from Stallone with First Blood and Rocky. They're also great, but I would say Arnie's done the more sort of like fun blockbusters out of the two. And yeah, I absolutely love a lot of the MCU and Marvel films. Like I grew up with the Tobey Maguire trilogy as well and stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of great Marvel movies out there. But in terms of all-time favorite movies, 3 of those Batman movies and 3 of my all-time favorite movies, obviously with 89 and The Dark Knight and Batman 2022, all of them are in my top 50 or top 100 of all time. So I'd have to go with DC for that. And I've only seen the first 2 Scream films, and Elm Street, the original, and Dream Warriors are 2 of my favourite horror films ever, so I would have to go with Elm Street. But I absolutely love Scream 1 and 2, though. Absolutely.
Yeah. Talking about Arnie as well, you just got to look at the films like Terminator, Predator, Total Recall, Last Action Hero, Kindergarten Cop, Jingle All the Way.
True Lies. True Lies, he actually has some
yeah.
good comedy timing. He
True Lies,
obviously in Predator and that, he just kind of looks the part. Whereas, yeah, True Lies, I think it's actually a good acting performance from him.
Yeah. Terminator 2, another one of the best sequels ever made. Just so many great. I mean, I watched one at the start of the year called End of Days.
Yeah, that's
really good film that is. Yeah. He's just done so many really good films. Whereas Stallone, like I say, the only ones that come to mind is the Rocky films. I'd say, well, I've not seen the 3rd Rambo, but I'd say the First Blood is the best of all of them. And then outside of that, Demolition Man.
Yeah, that's good.
I struggle to think of many.
Tango and Cash is a fun one. Over the Top.
Yeah.
Escape to Victory, I haven't watched yet, but he's meant to be good in it. Command, what's it called? Cobra is not a great one.
You got Commando with Arnie as well. That's a great Arnie film.
I've seen that film. Yeah.
I think Arnie loses a few points for being what's he called? Dr. Rice, is he in Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze. Yeah, he's pretty bad in that.
Yeah, but then I suppose you could balance it out with Sylvester Stallone in Stop or whatever.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but I've heard that's bad. Yeah, Stop or My Mother Will Shoot or something in it.
Yeah, Stop or My Mum Will Shoot. Yeah, and he did one called Oscar as well, which I don't think was well received.
Great things about.
And then he's done loads of crap straight. Whereas Arnie, he's not been in much recently, but at least he chooses quality. Whereas at the moment, I've seen Sylvester Stallone pop up in loads of straight-to-DVD films. So yeah, I think he's good. Although Tulsa King's quite good. If you've not seen that, I enjoyed the first series of that. Yeah, he's not really. Don't really do much. Whereas, like, I quite enjoyed the last Terminator film that Arnie was in.
Same.
Dark Fate. I thought that was good, and I know he's filming a film at the moment where he's playing Santa Claus, which will be interesting.
Awesome.
And he
Anyone
did
seen
that
that
series.
Maggie he did a while ago?
Maggie was okay. Yeah, Maggie was quite good.
I've not seen what is it? Sorry, Ollie. I was going to say as well. I'm actually yet to see the original Running Man.
Oh,
yeah.
that's another one. That's great. Yeah. What's the one? Red Heat. That's a good one.
Yeah. Raw Deal.
Yeah. But yeah, he did. He did a series
film,
on.
really good.
What was that? Sorry.
Conan.
Yeah.
You've seen Conan the Barbarian and Conan the
I've
Destroyer?
not seen them.
that's
Two of the
great.
best ones.
Yeah.
That Red Sonja is a good one. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
he
guess
did a
when you look at the
series.
filmography, Arnie has done better films.
Yeah. He did a series a few years ago. I think the second series is coming out this year called Fubar, which obviously means fucked up beyond all repair. And it's very much like True Lies. It's basically about a father and daughter, and they both work for the I think it's for the CIA, but they don't know, and they're assigned to the same mission where they bump into each other, and then obviously they got to deal with the fact that they now found out that they both work for the CIA. It's like a action comedy series. It's really good. I think it's like 8 episodes on Netflix, but I binged through that quite quickly. But I think the second series is coming out this year, so definitely be watching that. Carla says, "Have a good rest of your stream, folks. Speak soon, Sammy. Thanks for joining, Carlos."
Thank you so much,
Yeah, good
Carlos.
question.
We'll speak soon.
Yeah, great questions. Yeah.
Top guy.
Salem's Lot 2024 is okay. It just feels very rushed and chopped to bits. There is a 3 hours director's cut, so they need to release that on physical. Yeah, I'd be interested to see the 3 hours director cut, because like you can imagine, like the original TV miniseries was 3 hours.
Yeah.
So to put it into like a film, like he says, rushed and chopped to bits, that's what I'm imagining, less than 2 hours. Really, we need to see the 3 hour cut of that to fully see like what the original one did.
Yeah.
It's
a bit like. Oh, sorry, Ollie.
No,
I was just gonna quickly say as well, Ollie. It's a bit like. Are we getting like? Is it the 2.5 hour or 3 hour? I didn't know. Is it the extended version of like Nosferatu? Like from 2024, because I think the extended cut is coming with the 4K, is it?
I hope so, yeah. It's one that I'll probably get, because I think that comes out the first week of April. And as of now, I think it's still my top film of the year so far. I don't think there's anything above it. I'd have to check. But yeah, I definitely want to get it. Yeah, I would like to see the extended cut. I thought it's a very atmospheric film, I thought.
Saw it on my birthday, mate. It was just great, and it's a really great one for winter as well. Ollie, I think if I ever choose to watch, well, the original Nosferatu being one of my favourite films of all time, after The Shining, my second favourite horror film of all time, the 1922 version. That's a great one to watch at autumn and stuff. But I would probably say, interestingly, the remake from Robert Eggers is a really good one to watch at winter. Yeah, I'll probably watch that one at winter when I choose to watch it again.
Yeah.
Great film. Yeah.
Mark says, "Have a good rest of the stream, guys. I'll try to watch the rest in replay tomorrow and join you as a guest next week, all being well." Thanks for stopping by, Marcus. Hopefully we can have you on next week. So that's the end of the comments for now. So I have written down a few topics that I was going to talk about last week but never got to. So the first one I wanted to go through is, what is everyone's like favorite TV shows, like the best TV shows they think they've ever seen. You guys can go first this time. I'll go last because change it up a bit.
Did you want to go first, Tim or Jody?
No, I think I've got a few in mind, so I'll try. So 6 Feet Under. Anybody seen that?
I've heard of it. I've not seen it yet.
It's basically a family that run like a funeral home, and then obviously there's stuff in the funeral home, but there's a lot of like family drama. But yeah, that's a brilliant show. and it stays good. Whereas at one point I thought Game of Thrones was amazing, the first few series, but near the end it just turned bad. Cobra Kai, the first few seasons of that were brilliant.
yeah.
And again, it kind of waned off on, I think it was number 4 when the kids started fighting. The choreography was quite cheesy.
Yeah.
I've not seen Breaking Bad, but I've heard that's amazing. Yeah, I'd probably have to say 6 Feet Under, yeah, because it just stays good. Whereas, yeah, there's a few others, like Lost I was into, and then the ending, the payoff was so bad, everyone just got angry at it. Same as Game of Thrones, when that last series just sort of brought it down. I'm trying to think of any others. It's like sitcoms and series and stuff, but yeah, in terms of like big shows, yeah, I think I'd probably have to say 6 Feet Under personally.
You go first, Jody.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to think of like something that I would kind of recommend, but I don't necessarily like watch a lot of TV. Like I have kind of TV shows that I, would kind of, they're more kind of comfort TV shows that I would just kind of rewatch. Like for me, Dawson's Creek is my number 1 TV show ever. I've seen like I don't even know how many times I've seen every episode of that show. Sabrina the Teenage Witch was another really like important formative TV show for me growing up. And yeah, I'm trying to think, like probably like That 70s Show was another one that I love and I've rewatched over the years. And Everybody Hates Chris. Has anyone watched that one before? With Chris, it's like
No.
it's basically like it's a comedy based off Chris Rock's life. Like he wrote
I've
it.
heard of it,
Yeah, that's like another one that I kind of just always kind of come back to all the time. Yeah, like I'm not a huge series kind of watcher, to be honest. I have watched all of Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad, and I absolutely loved Game of Thrones when it was out. But I have never kind of gone back for a rewatch, so I definitely would like to revisit that at some point because I just feel like there's so much to take in and like so many characters and everything that like when you're watching it for the first time, it's like quite overwhelming. But I think maybe a rewatch would be good. But yeah, like not. I don't know if I'd have any kind of necessarily recommendation for shows. Probably Friday Night Dinner is another one that I've like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But one I forgot to mention quickly, then we can see that Twin Peaks. I forgot.
Yeah.
Good man, Tim.
I've not finished it yet. I'm about halfway through series 2, and I stopped because I thought, what happens when I get to series 2? I've not got Firewalk with me, and I need to watch that before I go on to the revival series. So I just stopped until I get that. I'll probably won't go back to it until I get that.
Yeah, like Jody, I'm to tell you the truth, Ollie, I'm not a huge TV series watcher. There's a lot more, like, don't get me wrong, there's still some TV shows that I would love to eventually get onto. It's just I haven't got around to and stuff. But yeah, I would say in terms of TV box sets, definitely the first 4-5 seasons of Game of Thrones, just absolutely amazing. The first 5 seasons of The Walking Dead, the original, was great. And yeah, some all-time favorites. Black Mirror, incredible.
I can't wait for the new series.
Are we getting that this year, Ollie?
Getting it. I was shocked. A trailer came out the other day. We're getting it in less than a month.
Oh, get in. Can't wait for that.
I think it's the same day as Doctor Who. It's April the 10th or the 11th.
Oh, yes. That is going to be an epic weekend for TV. That will be. Yeah, and Black Mirror is incredible. And I probably would say, yeah, I do love Stranger Things. The first season, I think, is amazing. I don't think anything other season has touched the first season, but still very solid. And Breaking Bad, phenomenal. Really enjoyed Better Call Saul, but did prefer Breaking Bad personally. And like Tim, Twin Peaks, amazing. The first season in particular, but still really, really awesome since the first season. And I would even go again, setting Ollie and Tim's side of the world, the TV series Skins, I loved that. Yeah, like especially I'd say the first 4 seasons of that, really good. And yeah, like the first 4-5 seasons of modern Doctor Who with Chris, David, and Matt, amazing. And I probably would say one of my all-time favourite shows is The Sopranos, just wonderful. Remember when I binged that during COVID? That's excellent. And then, yeah, the TV series of This Is England as well is fantastic. Yeah, there's a lot of really good TV shows out there. Yeah, there'd be some of my recommendations.
Yeah,
League
for me,
of Gentlemen one I forgot.
yeah.
Oh, excellent, Tim. And do you know what, Tim? When I did my anticipated new releases video, I forgot to mention the Blu-ray box set of League of Gentlemen. Can't wait to get that on Blu-ray. And then yeah, and if we're talking about sitcoms, Ollie, definitely Peep Show, Father Ted, and Fawlty Towers. The Office US is brilliant. There'd be some of my recommendations when it comes to sitcoms and that.
Yeah. I think for me, I'd split it. I'd say all like television series that have finished. The one that comes to mind for me straight away, probably my favorite television series of all time. Probably won't ever get topped because the writing is some of the best writing you'll ever see. And that's The Newsroom. It lasted for 3 series, and it was written by Aaron Sorkin. And it's just some of the best TV work you'll ever see. It's so well written. It's set in the news, like just in a newsroom, and each series tackles a different big news topic. So I think one of the series is like the presidential election. It's quite old now; it's about 15 years old, but just the acting, the performance. You got like Jeff Daniels, who's now one of my favorite actors, leading it. Emily Mortimer, British actress, she's fantastic in it. Jane Fonda, Sam Waterston, just some Dev Patel, like probably catapulted into stardom. That with like Skins and everything. Yeah, just one of the best series I've ever seen. I watched it during the first lockdown. And it's one of the best series I've ever binge watched. It hooked me, and I was so sad when it was over because it had a perfect ending as well, which is very rare for television series. They usually are so good until the end, and they just don't know how to end them. But it just ended so well, and I would have added to that list Ted Lasso, but obviously now we are getting a series 4, so it kind of ruins the perfect ending that we got for that. But that would have definitely been on my list as well because I absolutely loved that. I say Yellowstone as well, although I haven't seen the end of that yet, but I've heard it did end really well. But that was consistently good throughout. I loved all of that. And then TV series that are still on now, I say Severance. That's incredible. Slow Horses is incredible. Only Murders in the Building. The Bear. Love The Bear. Shogun was great last year. Loved that. Yeah, there's so many great series out there at the moment. Yeah, I could go on and on because there's just so many that I just love.
Do you like Squid Game? Oh, sorry, Ollie. Do you like Squid Game?
Yeah, Squid Game's up there for me as well. Loved Squid Game. Stranger Things, like you said, loved Wednesday. I'd add to the list as well. Really liked the first series of Wednesday. Looking forward to the next one. It's just so many series out there. There's one called The Diplomat with Kerry Russell, which I think the 3rd series is coming out this year. I loved that. The Night Agent on Netflix. That's fantastic show as well. Yeah, so Reacher's a great show. I'm loving the new series of that. Yeah, I could go on and on, so I'll stop there because there's as I said, I do watch quite a lot of television, so yeah.
Man, it's great. Need to get back onto Peaky Blinders, actually, Ollie. Only got to,
I need to watch
season
that.
5. Yeah, really
That's on my
good.
list.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, they got the film coming out. The film's coming out later in the year, so because I think was it Stuart that got to see the sets that they had? I think they just finished filming, and he managed to walk around the sets. I think it's going to be called The Immortal Man, the film. But yeah, I think even though it's a Netflix film, I think they're giving it a cinema release as well, which shocked me for Netflix because Netflix just never do that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's a series I need to watch. In fact, that was one of Giz's answers. The Sopranos, another one I need to watch. All 4 of those I need to watch. I started watching the X-Files, but I think because of how long it is, I'll get the box set at some point, I think, and I'll watch through them because I started watching the revival. And I think I watched the first series when they did the revival series, and that scared the shit out of me. I think I'd only just started secondary school, so I was 12, 13. And even though it's obviously probably not as scary as the original X-Files, it still scared the shit out of me, that new series. It's just so creepy. So I'd love to watch that. And like I said, Peaky Blinders and 24 and The Sopranos, definitely. Some of my favourite shows are Succession. Yeah, I've heard that was fantastic. The Bear, yeah, same here. I said The Bear, love that. Jamie Lee Curtis in that is excellent as well when she pops up in her episodes. I think the best episode, one of the best episodes of television of all time I've ever seen, is an episode, I think it's called Fishes, and it's when they all go home Thanksgiving dinner, and it's just got some of the best writing and some of the best dialogue between characters. It's just, have you seen it, Sam?
Only Murders in the Building, Ollie?
No, The Bear.
Oh, The Bear, sorry. No, I haven't seen that. And I love Boiling Point. I think Boiling Point is amazing, so I'd imagine I would really enjoy that.
Knocks that out the park. It's just something completely different. It's just, yeah, it makes you go through all different kinds of emotions watching it. You get angry, you feel sad, you laugh, cry. It's just incredible. I can't wait for the 4th series because you get like I said, Jamie Lee Curtis in a guest role. You got Olivia Colman pops up as well. Loads of really great actors just pop up in small roles. It's great. And then Only Murders in the Building as well. That's on its 5th series this year. That's just got better every series. Each season has just improved. I mean, you've got my favourite actress of all time is now a regular in it, Meryl Streep. And I never thought I'd see Meryl Streep in a series like that as a regular character. Yeah, it's just each series of that is just, it should be winning more awards because it is just such a good show. One of my tops at the moment, I would say. And then It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I've never watched that. The IT Crowd, yeah, absolutely love the IT Crowd. So funny with Moss and all that. Yeah, so funny. Father Ted I never watched, and Breaking Bad I never watched either.
You'll absolutely love it, Ollie. Father Ted is brilliant. It wouldn't get made now, but it's still absolutely brilliant. Probably my favourite episode of that. Jody might know which one I'm on about, but the one when Father Stone comes to stay. So funny, isn't it? And Pat the Milkman, classic.
Yeah, Pat Mustard.
Yeah. It's amazing, man. And Breaking Bad, absolutely fantastic, Ollie. I thought the first 2 seasons were really good still, but season 3 and onwards is when it gets next level for me, just phenomenal. Fantastic series.
He said, oh, and Garth Marenghi's Dark Place is just genius. I think Tim's seen that, haven't you?
Yeah, I think it's directed by Peter Strickland, that does Barbarian Sound Studio and In Fabric. But yeah, it's got like a few of the characters from the Mighty Boosh and things in. Quite a surreal, dark comedy, yeah.
I love the Mighty Boosh.
Yeah, so that's one of my favourites, I forgot.
Our Friends in the North 2, brilliant series from the 90s. Never heard of that one.
I'm currently watching that. It's set in Newcastle. Really good, Ollie. Yeah, I've seen the first 3 episodes. It's like kind of set apart, like, you know, like each year, and like it's got a really good cast with Christopher Eccleston, Mark Strong, and there's who else was it in there as well? Who was it? There's Christopher Eccleston, Mark Strong, Daniel Craig, and Malcolm McDowell. Yeah, it's really good. It's like, as it's set years apart, and I think I've got like 4 episodes left of that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing that. That's been very good though. Set in Newcastle as well.
Sounds good, yeah. Next topic I thought I'd bring up. What are some of the biggest films that you haven't seen?
Oh God.
Well, Ollie, you know which one for me already.
Yeah, Aliens. You've got no excuse now, Sam, because it's on the 2 for 30 offer on Amazon on 4K, so you could get it for £15.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah,
nice.
You could pair it up with True Lies if you've not got that, because that's part of the deal as well.
Oh, excellent. Is Rocky Balboa in that deal, Ollie?
Very possibly. Have a look. I think I put it in the group a few days ago. I think Tim looked at it.
Yeah,
some good stuff on there.
Yeah, there's some really cracking titles in the 2 for 30 deal at the minute, Ollie. I still need to get Team America and Breakdown.
Me too,
because Team America's just amazing, and I need to check out Breakdown. And I know Jody's spoken really highly of that, and a few other people as well. Yeah, I've heard it's really good. Jody, I really want to check that film out.
Yeah. So, do you guys want to go first answering?
I was actually I was kind of thinking, because there is some very, very notable ones that I haven't seen that it's kind of getting embarrassing at this point that I haven't seen. So I was thinking about actually kind of watching them over maybe the next week or two, and then kind of doing a video where I kind of review them. But I was just kind of thinking I've never seen Fight Club, and I've never seen Pulp Fiction, which is it's just getting ridiculous that I haven't seen it. And I this one now is a very embarrassing, but I've never seen Goodfellas.
All 3 of those you're in it for a treat for. Those are all great films.
Just for some, I don't know how I haven't gotten around to them, but they're all in my collection, they're waiting to be watched. So I think I'm just gonna get around to them and just do it, and just kind of get it done with and watch them, and then maybe do a review. And then I'm sure I'll be kicking myself that I haven't seen them sooner, but I just haven't gotten around to them. But hopefully soon.
I think Pulp Fiction has got the best dialogue of any film I've ever seen.
100% agree.
Yeah, I need to see it.
Yeah, what about you other guys?
You go first, Tim.
I'm actually struggling to think of. I've never seen AI by Steven Spielberg. War Horse by Steven Spielberg. Don't think I've seen The Godfather 3, but I've not heard great things about it.
It's not great.
Yeah, I don't think there's that many big films I can think of that I haven't watched. Really, I haven't looked in the collection. I don't think there's any critically acclaimed. Obviously I've seen Shawshank, Green Mile, Casablanca. I've not seen Citizen Kane, actually, the original, and I've heard that's meant to be one of the best films ever.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Not seen a lot of westerns. Obviously, I've not seen the Man with No Name trilogy yet. I've not even seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but I am watching it soon. I'd say westerns and war films in general, really, I've not seen a lot of, but no, not really any Aliens for Sammy or whatever sort of real big ones I've not watched that I can think
of. Excuse me. I think, there's no shock and no denying it. I still haven't seen Aliens, which, I definitely need to get onto. And now Ollie has said it's in a 2 for 30 deal. I think I'm definitely gonna have to pick that one up soon, and I definitely want to watch it. And just as I say, Ollie, I've not heard many bad things about it. I've just heard, for the most part, just high praise. And Yeah, a few other big films that comes to mind. I would say Gladiator is one I've never seen. I've never seen Gangs of New York. That's another kind of big hitter I've never seen. I'm trying to think what else. The Great Escape is another one. Fistful of Dollars and for a few dollars more. And yeah, a lot of the original like James Bond sequels. I've never seen the original Blades as well with Wesley Snipes. Yeah, I've said there'd probably be a few ones there.
Yeah, I'd probably go for. I've never seen 2001. I've not seen Gone with the Wind.
That's another
Um,
one I've not
I'm
seen.
Yeah, I've not seen that.
I've not seen Midnight Express.
Oh, that's incredible, Ollie. That's fantastic, that film.
I'm just trying to look what else I've got in the collection that I've just not seen yet. Um,
I've not seen the original Godzilla from 1954.
no, I've not seen that either. I've not seen Wall Street. I suppose that's quite a big one. The Searchers. Again,
That's
the
great.
the Spaghetti Western trilogy. Not seen that. Yeah, there's quite a few. Flashdance. I suppose that's quite a big one.
I've not seen that either, man.
The original West Side Story.
I've not seen that either. I've not seen Platoon as well.
Oh, that's good. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
300. Watchmen. Malcolm X, I suppose. Empire of the Sun.
Yeah, I picked that one up on Blu-ray recently. I've not seen that one either, Ollie.
Parasite, I've still not watched.
Oh, God, it's phenomenal, mate. It's fantastic.
The King of Comedy, I've still not watched.
Oh, good.
That's really good.
American Psycho, The Maltese Falcon, Papillon, Spartacus,
So good.
Raging Bull. Still not seen Raging Bull. Videodrome.
It's really good.
Yeah. There's a lot I've not seen that I've got in the collection for sure. And one that Si's just said, The Princess Bride.
I've never seen that either.
We've seen that earlier, didn't we, on DVD?
I'm gonna correct that very soon. That's all I'm gonna say. That will be watched very soon. Because I do, that is one that people have been telling me. I think Stuart put me onto that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll watch that one very soon. Oh no, never seen Forrest Gump. I'm sure. I think you put that on my video earlier. You commented. I think you put that. You need to get on that. I mean, I had a comment on my video earlier from someone that we talked about in the group, basically asking me why I liked Forrest Gump because he thought it was crap, and he wanted to know my exact reasoning for why I thought it was a good film. And I just had to explain to him. I said, just because you don't think it's a good film doesn't mean that other people can't enjoy it and like it. We've all got our own opinions.
I've come to accept now, Ollie, it is got to be one of the most divisive films out there.
It is now, yeah.
I'm totally with you there, though, man. I think it's absolutely amazing. In my top 5 films ever, just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's incredible. And shockingly, Ollie, I haven't got it on 4K or Blu-ray. I need to definitely get that in my collection. Absolutely.
Yeah, I jumped the format, so I went from DVD. I then got the special edition Blu-ray, and I've only quite recently, I think last year, got the 4K. So I need to give that a watch because I've not seen the 4K yet. But yeah, everybody knows if you've watched my channel for any time that is my favorite film of all time. Just one of the first memories. I remember watching that at my nan's. I probably was like 12 or 13 maybe, and it was on like Film 4 late at night, and I stayed up and watched it all until, because it's quite a long film. But yeah, I just loved it because it's just a film that I personally really connect with him, the character, and his journey that he goes on, the adversities he faces, because I just really relate to that and connect with that. So I think that's one of the reasons why I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, I tell you what, Ollie, not gonna spoil anything for Giz here, but one character that departed during the movie that gets me every time when I watch that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just the music in that is breathtaking as well, man.
Alan Silvestri's just perfect at doing stuff like that.
And we were talking about soundtracks, weren't we, Ollie, last week? That soundtrack is absolutely banging.
Oh yeah, definitely. My second favorite film of all time. He's size not seen. Titanic. I bloody love that film, and I saw it at the
Ollie.
cinema. I saw it at the cinema. I think it was 4K, 3D for its 25th anniversary 2 years ago. One of the best cinema experiences I've ever had. I've yet to watch the physical 4K. I'm sure I'll get around to it at some point this year, but I just love the story. Love, again, James Horner's score. Beautiful. It's a beautiful story, a beautiful film, and it's historical as well because it actually happened. I mean, obviously the characters that you follow in the film weren't real, but to think that actually happened the way that it did, and that many people lost their lives, it's one of the biggest disasters in modern modern history. I suppose it'd still be classed as. Yeah, definitely. Have you seen Hot Fuzz? Yeah, love that film.
Yes.
Not too far from me and Tim. I drive through there quite a while. Yeah, I
You've
drove
seen
through
Shaun
there.
of the Dead, Jody?
Oh, that's
Pardon?
great.
You've seen Shaun of the Dead?
No, I haven't seen any of those. Like,
They're good.
You're for a treat.
Hot Fuzz is my favourite, but yeah, all three are good.
Hot Fuzz, yeah. I'll probably be driving through there again tomorrow. They've knocked the police station down now, which is a bummer. But yeah, so,
Wells in it, Ollie, like Wells or Somerset.
Yeah, Somerset, yeah.
Yeah, because I think they filmed the cathedral in Wales, and then they filmed the summer. I think it was in Summerfield, wasn't it? The sort of supermarket.
Yeah.
They're in.
No, yeah, I think they filmed most of. I think because obviously it was. I think is it Stanton something. Yeah, Drew. I think something. But yeah, again, just such a funny film, very quotable.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was filmed half an hour away from me, and like I said, I'll probably drive through there again tomorrow because I'll be coming back that way from where I'm going. It's just just a great film. Just so
I think
quotable.
you can get a box set now, Jody, of they call it the Cornetto Trilogy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all three are on a box set on 4K. I think it is.
Yeah.
I think I have all the DVDs. I don't have the cases anymore, but I have the actual discs, so I can watch them. I just got around to it. I just feel like I have so much I always just have so much that I just haven't got to them yet. But I definitely need to make a point to watch them. Maybe I can add them into my video about the most famous ones I haven't seen, because I do need to see them.
Yeah, I would say, Jody, Hot Fuzz for me is my favourite, but Shaun of the Dead and The World's End, which is considered to be the weakest one. It is my least favourite, but I still think it's a really good film. But that, come to think of it, might be one of my favourite trilogies out there, you know. Just love all three movies, but yeah, Hot Fuzz is my favourite. It's just so quotable, isn't it, Ollie?
For the greater good.
Indeed. And just which one do you want to watch? Point Break or Bad Boys 2? No, which one? Which one you prefer? No, which one do you want to watch first? You're pulling my leg, aren't you?
Yeah. No, that is just great. It's just the fact you watch it the first time, and it's the rewatch where you pick up on it, especially For the Greater Good. You pick up on that on the rewatch, and it's just so rewarding and satisfying. And the ending bit, the standoff at the end is just hilarious.
Yeah, and also Ollie, the scene where he goes, "Oh, you mothers."
Yeah, and
When
the
the-
bit with Stephen Merchant's character, because his name's is it like P.S. Taker? So they think that he's like taking the piss, and it's actually called Piss Taker. And he's calling up about the swan. Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah, that scene with the swan is so funny.
Chasing the swan, yeah.
And the
fence.
priest as well. Oh God, talking about it now, Ollie, I want to watch that film again soon.
I watched it because I don't actually have any of them physically, so I need to get them physically because I love them. But it was on Netflix one night, and I just thought I need to watch this again. It was such a long time since I'd watched it, and if you leave it for quite a long time and you watch it, I think you'll love it even more because it just brings back everything, and yeah, it's just great.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen Revenge for Jolly? I've never even heard of it.
No.
No.
Not heard of that.
No.
I love Hot Fuzz, yeah. Jody needs to
Awesome
give that one a
side.
watch. I'd say out of the three,
It's
give
really
that one a
good.
watch first, yeah.
Yeah.
And did you know that his girlfriend at the beginning? Did you know who plays his girlfriend?
Who's that, Ollie?
It's Kate Blanchett.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I've just
Because
remembered
you never actually see her face. You only ever
No.
hear her voice, and she's only in the one scene. So I think she
Okay.
came in for a day's work. But yeah, there's so and Peter Jackson's in it as well. He's got a cameo, I think, in that part as well. I think he plays one of the forensic people.
Yeah.
So many cool things.
I love him. What is it as well? You've got cameos like from well, they start at the beginning, but obviously Bill Nighy and Steve Coogan as well. Hello,
Yeah.
Nicholas. How's the hand? There's that quote.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, it's great.
Paddy is the twins as well in that
Oh
film.
yeah, yeah. He's great in
Oh.
The World's End as well.
Yeah. It's and the swear jar sequence. Oh, it's just...
Yeah. The unexploded bomb. That's a great bit. We can't understand the word he's saying. Got to get a translator. That's West Country for you.
Yeah, I want to watch that again soon, Ollie.
Yeah.
And I've always got that film to thank for discovering Point Break as well.
Yeah. Hey Ollie, are you going to pick up Midnight Meat Train? From the sounds of what goes on in it, probably not, because I don't like that sort of thing. If someone's eating someone's tongue, probably not, but who knows, maybe one day. Are you guys looking forward to the sequels to Thanksgiving, Five Nights at Freddy's and Black Phone 2? Black Phone 2, yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's was okay. Don't think there's a sequel's necessary, and I've still not seen Thanksgiving, so I don't really know if I don't know if that one's for me or not.
Yeah, Thanksgiving I really like. I think it's one of the best modern slashers since Scream and You're Next. Five Nights at Freddy's was okay, and yeah, Black Phone I really liked. So yeah, looking forward to Black Phone 2. Is it still Scott Derrickson directing?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And Ethan Hawke's back somehow.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I'm guessing you've seen that one, Sam, because you like Ethan Hawke.
I need to check out Black Phone, to be fair, mate. I've heard it's very solid. I do want to check it out. I need to check out Predestination as well. I've heard that's very good.
Yeah.
I need to get that on Blu-ray at some
That
point.
one really messes with your mind. Just the whole story and the twists, and it's one of those films that's got some of the most twists in a single film, and it's a mind fuck of a film. Like seriously, it's
Sinister.
insane. Sinister's supposed to be good.
Yeah, Scott Derrickson. I think that's Scott Derrickson's best film.
Yeah, I've not seen Sinister either, Tim. No, I've heard that's pretty good. So meant to be one of the better modern horror films. But yeah, definitely want to check out the Black Phone. It just looked really creepy, but really cool from the trailer. That did. I really don't have much interest at Five Nights at Freddy's. And I don't know when I'm going to get around to watching the first 4 films. See what I did there? That was a bit of a dad's joke. Thanksgiving, I've got the original Thanksgiving on Blu-ray. But yeah, I can imagine that'll be well up my street because I do love like a slasher film. And yeah, if the sequel's anything to go about, I'm hoping that will be at least on the level of the original when I get around to watching the original, definitely.
What about you, Jody?
Yeah, I did like the Black Phone. I kind of felt like it was maybe a little bit anticlimactic, but maybe more will kind of come out in the second one to kind of maybe explain it a little bit more. And I haven't seen Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm probably like Sam. I'm probably not too kind of pushed with that one, to be honest.
Yeah,
it doesn't really look like maybe something I'd be kind of into. And I didn't think I would be into Thanksgiving, but I've heard like a lot of people saying good things about it, so I might actually watch the first one and then maybe check out the sequel because I haven't seen that one yet either.
It is funny. It's quite funny, I thought.
Yeah, I need to give it a watch.
Fear Street is my favourite modern slasher franchise. Also really like Hatchet films. Yeah, I've heard that Fear Street trilogy is pretty solid. I know they got a new one coming out in May, but I've heard pretty good things about that.
I think they're on Netflix still, Ollie, if you want to watch them.
Yeah.
But they're set in different times. So the first one, I think, is set like modern, I really enjoyed, but then one's set like hundreds of years ago, and then I think there's 3 and they're set in different timelines, and a few of them I didn't like too much, but the part 1 is really good. Got a really good kill where he puts someone through like a bread slicing machine. It's one of the best like modern kills I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Interesting.
And yeah, Hatchet films are good. Then first couple are good, and then they get a bit silly. I think part 4 he goes to outer space. But yeah, first Hatchet film is really good, sort of comedy, kind of like a throwback to like camp slashers and stuff. Right?
That's always the go-to when they don't know what to do. They just chuck the main character into space, don't they?
Yeah. Jason went to space. Leprechaun went to space. I think most of them, and Hellraiser went to space.
Fast and Furious went to space.
Right, I don't know.
James Bond went to space. Yeah, just the go-to thing if they don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
So next topic, I've got 2 more topics. What's your guys' favourite war films?
Oh, that's a great question, Ollie. For me, yeah, I probably would have to go. Some of my favourite war films, I probably would have to go with Saving Private Ryan, which is just absolutely incredible. Like one of the best opening sequences to film ever. Just absolutely amazing. Amazing movie. And recently, Inglourious Bastards, with also that iconic opening. Like with that iconic opening sequence as well, quite stomach churning at times as well, but really good movie. And Hacksaw Ridge, 1917, Jojo Rabbit, and again, Ollie, probably not one that's going to have a lot more like this war film probably won't have a lot of rewatchability for me, but I think it's absolutely fantastic. The Zone of Interest I probably would put down as one of my favorite war films, but just like a bit like Schindler's List, phenomenal, but just wouldn't have a lot of rewatchability for me because it's quite tough to watch at times.
I'd say Saving Private Ryan and Full Metal Jacket. Sure, there's a load of older classic ones like Battle of the Bulge and that I hadn't seen since I was a kid with my granddad, so I can't remember. But yeah, out of ones I've watched sort of as an adult, yeah, Full Metal Jacket and Saving Private Ryan, I'd say. And Platoon, actually, is a good one.
I'd probably go with Inglourious Bastards has to be up there for me as well. Like I absolutely love it. I saw it in the cinema when it came out originally, and like just remember being blown away. And then probably Apocalypse Now is up there as well. Probably just like film as well. And The Thin Red Line, Terrence Malick. I just think that's incredible war film as well. And then I'm kind of try to get more into like some of the older war films. So I do really like A Bridge Too Far and Eagle Has Landed, and then Roy Sam Peckinpah's Cross of Iron is a really good one as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's definitely a few more of the classics that I definitely want to see. But yeah, probably they're my top ones that come to mind.
Yeah, I'd probably go. I can see my war collection from it. I'd probably go Allied. Really great, sort of different type of war film. Brad Pitt, Marion Cotillard, Robert Zemeckis directed. Really good, like thriller / war film. Really enjoyed that one. The Last Samurai, which is a Civil War film. Tom Cruise, one of my favorite Tom Cruise films. Just such an epic film, and got some great supporting performances from Ken Watanabe, Timothy Spall, Billy Connolly. Just a beautifully made film. Hacksaw Ridge, love that film. One of my favorite, probably directed by Mel Gibson films. The Hurt Locker's an excellent Catherine Bigelow film as well. Love that one.
Want to check that out.
That's great.
Cold Mountain, another Civil War sort of romance type film, but still say it's a war film because it's set during the Civil War. I think that's a beautiful, really well made film. The Pianist, that's a beautiful film, hard to watch but
That's
beautiful.
good.
And you compare that with something like Schindler's List, another beautifully made, really important watch of a film.
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan. Valkyrie. I think Valkyrie's another great underrated Tom Cruise film.
I haven't seen that one.
War Horse again. War Horse is great. 1917. There's a good one called Eye in the Sky, which is Helen Mirren, and it's
good.
one of Alan
Yeah.
Rickman's, but it's all about like drone warfare and trying to make a decision. I'd still say I'd still put that in the war film category because it's obviously set during the war, and it's all like in one place. Yeah, Platoon, Saving Private Ryan, Unbroken's another great one. Angelina Jolie directed. That's based on a true story. Great Escape, Full Metal Jacket. Yeah, I think that's most of the ones I've got, to be honest, but I love them all. Yeah, do like a good war film. Need to get into some more of the older ones again, like Jody said, because Cross of Iron's one that's interested me, and The Bridge Too Far is excellent so far. So yeah, great genre.
The Patriot is a really good one as well.
I've got that in the watch pile, so I will watch that eventually. Sharknado went to space. Not a surprise at all. Kelly's Heroes, yeah, I forgot to say that one. Love that as well. Full Metal Jacket, Platoon, Guns of Navarone, Where Eagles Dare. Is that the VHS, Sam? Yeah.
It is, yeah. I just thought, because I've got it right there, I just thought, yeah, I got that for about 10 pence in a charity shop. Like, yeah, it was great to get that one. I love VHS Ollie.
Yeah, we saw a random one today in charity shop for Last of the Summer Wine.
Oh, nice.
Very random. Yeah.
Not too far from my neck of the woods, that home first. Yeah.
War films, The Wild Geese, Where Eagles Dare, Great Escape. Yeah, I think Tony mentioned to me The Wild Geese was a great British film to check out, actually. Not just war, but British film.
Yeah, Arrow,
that's Roger Moore, I think.
Print.
Yeah.
I forgot The Great Escape. I didn't really think of that as a war film. I think of it as a prison film, but I guess it is a war film.
Yeah.
Just got it right here as well.
Oh, nice.
And you've not seen it yet, Sam.
I still haven't seen it.
I know what your homework's going to be this week, Sam.
Do you know what? It's awesome as well, Ollie. If I can, and I do need to see that film, though, mind you. Actually, yeah, I think I will get that one watched this weekend. I've seen Chicken Run, which is the closest thing to it.
Chicken Run's basically the animated remake.
Yeah, new and sealed as well. So yeah, I'll probably will watch that one this weekend. And I still haven't got the Arrow edition, but I've heard it's just a great film with no pun intended. But Ollie, have you seen the sequel to The Great Escape?
I've not. No, I don't know. Is Christopher Reeve in that? I think Christopher Reeve's in that, isn't he?
I'm not too sure, mate. I've heard the sequel's not too bad.
I think it was made for TV. I think it's on the Arrow release, but I've only got the
Yeah,
standard
yeah,
old
yeah.
Blu-ray. I'm sure Christopher Reeve was in it, and I'm sure it was made for TV. But yeah, I haven't seen it. No, don't know if it's any worth. I can't imagine what it'd be about.
Yeah,
Because
they say on the back, but I've heard it's not great.
Yeah, I've not heard great things about it either.
When we're talking about other, like classics or big movies we've never seen, Ollie, the other one that just sprung to mind was the original Taken of Pelham 1, 2, 3. I've heard that's really great.
Yeah, I've seen. I love the remake with Denzel. I think
That's
that's a
not
really
bad.
underrated
Yeah.
film. But yeah, I've not seen the original yet.
There's one I still haven't seen, Joker.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, don't bother with the second one though. Also, what are your guys' thoughts on an action movie of Frank Grillo versus Vinnie Jones in it? Would you have as a good guy and the bad guy? For me, Frank is the goodie and Vinnie is the baddie. Not too sure on that one actually.
Yeah,
I think I've
really
seen
know,
Frank.
Ollie.
Yeah, not too sure on that one really. Oh, Jody's disappeared.
Yeah, I've not seen the Purge films, and is he in Werewolves? That Frank Grillo, which I've not seen.
I think he's supposed to be in that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Frank Grillo.
I Cry Like a Baby at the end of Wild Geese. Yeah, it's one that I think I'm definitely gonna have to get a copy of that.
Yeah, I think it's out of print and quite hard to get.
Yeah, definitely try and get a copy of that at some point.
And was Tony saying that one was like a British war film, that one, Ollie? He did say that in his latest vlog, didn't he?
Yeah. Because I asked him some underrated British film, and I have actually ordered one that he mentioned in that video, so hopefully I will give that a watch soon.
Bit like yourself, Ollie, and a few of the other guys. He picks up on a lot of hidden gems that I've never heard of. Yeah, there was a few I added to my list recently, watching his latest vlog as well.
Definitely, yeah. I like that he only does the one a week. I just like the format, like him answering the comments from the previous video.
Yeah,
just like that format, and then showing his pickups off. I think that's quite a good format, actually.
Absolutely. I've got a lot of time for Tony. Ollie, great guy. Yeah.
And then the last topic I've written down to watch, obviously, if you've seen my weekly watches, you know that I watched Straight Time the other day, and I just thought that Dustin Hoffman gives such an underrated performance in that film, and I just wanted to know what you guys think are some of the most underrated performances ever.
Oh. That's a good question. Yeah. One that has come to mind, Ollie, would probably be Steve Coogan in 24-Hour Party People. I thought he was really good in that as Tony Wilson. And even actually Bradley Cooper in The Place Beyond the Pines, I thought he was excellent in that.
Is that Bradley? I thought it was Ryan Gosling. Is he in it as well?
And he is, mate. He's brilliant in it as well. Yeah, they're both great in it. That is an amazing film, that. Just thinking what else.
I think Michael Douglas in Falling Down.
Oh, I love that film, man. That is in my the top 20 films, Ollie. Incredible. Yeah. Love that. Possibly Robin Williams in The Fisher King. I thought he was excellent in that.
Definitely, yeah.
Great
film. Is that a Terry Gilliam film?
Yeah. It is, Tim. Really good, that. Yeah, very.
It's on Criterion.
It is. It's got comical elements to it, Tim, but I've always classed that more as a drama. But it's really good, though. fantastically acted, that film.
I'll have to get that.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch, man. Actually, talking to Terry Gilliam, Tim, I've not seen 12 Monkeys yet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good film, yeah.
Yeah, I need to check that one out.
I think Leonardo DiCaprio and What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah, that's a great
Very
film.
underrated
Beautiful
performance.
film. That's beautiful,
Yeah.
that film.
I think Brad Dourif in Exorcist 3, near the end, the last 10 minutes, he's like in a prison cell and he's like just chewing up scenery. And then, I'd probably say from recent watches, Keanu Reeves in River's Edge. It's like one of the best performances I've seen by him. Yeah, he's quite young in that and he's really good in it.
I think
Probably
Ellen
the-
Burstyn in Requiem for a Dream.
Oh yeah.
I forget that's her in it.
Yeah.
I don't know how that didn't win the Oscar that year for.
I know. Crazy.
Like Julia Roberts won, I think, for Erin
Yeah.
Brockovich over Ellen Burstyn.
She was incredible.
Oh,
Just
fantastic.
transformative.
Yeah.
That,
forget that's her.
yeah, that is an amazing film, isn't it, Ollie? Actually, Ollie, if that's still in the 2 for 30 deal, I definitely need to get that on 4K.
Yeah.
Quite
Well
depressing.
worth it.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
I keep forgetting, who is it? Is it Jared Leto? Is Jake Gyllenhaal? They're in
Jared
Requiem
Leto.
for a Dream. Yeah, that music's phenomenal as well. And
I'll go for a under the radar performance that you might not know. Jason Robards in Magnolia.
oh yeah, I agree with that, Ollie. Really good.
Really good in that one, yeah.
He is, yeah. And
He might have
while
even
on
been
the-
nominated for an Oscar for that.
Yeah. And while we're on that subject of Magnolia, Ollie, I would even say Tom Cruise in
Tom
that.
Cruise.
think
I was
he
just going to say
gives-
that, yeah.
Yeah, he's got to give at least, it's got to be top 3 performances. And one of them is in that film, definitely.
And he was
Magnolia.
completely snubbed. He should have won an Oscar for that. He was not. I think that's the only time he's ever been nominated for an Oscar. And I think he should have won for that.
Yeah.
I would also say that if no one's seen it, Joaquin Phoenix in You Were Never Really Here.
Oh yeah.
Seen that? Yeah, he's amazing. And well, he's good in everything, isn't he? But I think that's the best I've seen him in. You Never Really Hear.
He was also, what was it, Tim? Really good in the film Her, which is excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've not seen that.
Oh, that's excellent, mate. Yeah, I'd definitely recommend that.
I'd
How about
say
Wally?
Steve Carell in Crazy Stupid Love.
I need to check that out. I've heard that's great.
He's really good in that.
Yeah. I thought he was really good in what was it, Ollie? Foxcatcher as well.
Yeah. Again, another transformative role. I'd say John Travolta in Hairspray.
Yeah.
That's a really good performance, considering he pulls off playing a woman quite well.
Also, I'd say Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo, just because they're so against type.
Yeah.
Obviously go from like comedy and everything to being like a villain in that, and he's genuinely creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Prince in Purple Rain.
Mm.
It's good in that.
Prince, but surprisingly, Ollie, I've never seen that film. I love Prince, and I've got the
It's a great film.
Yeah, I've got the Purple Rain album on vinyl, but never seen the film actually. Yeah, I'd love to at some point.
It's a very unique film. It's very unique, but the way it uses his music and tells a story, and it's not a conventional story, but he's really good in it. Considering I think it's the first film he was in. I think he was really good in it.
Yeah.
See if I can think of anything else. Christian Bale in Hostiles, if you've ever seen that. Thought he was really good in that.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, he was really good in that, I thought.
Him in Vice was like just
Yeah.
well, Dick
He's great in
Cheney,
that.
and like he But like, it's when he like puts on all the weight and everything. Like,
I know, yeah.
you know, he really goes for it. And The Machinist, is anyone
Yeah,
seen that?
amazing.
Oh,
film.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
not seen that.
Oh,
I don't think
God.
that's ever had a Blu-ray, has it? I've only got it on
Yeah,
DVD.
I think Tartan Video put it out, actually.
Oh right, I've got the
On
DVD, but
Blu-ray,
I've
yeah.
never come across it on Blu-ray. Huh?
I did have the Blu-ray, but it's one of those films that I think I'd only ever watched the once. I
Oh, so I've
appreciated
watched it
it,
quite
but I
a
think
few
I'd only ever
times.
watched the once. Yeah. A bit of an old one now. Disney film. Angela Lansbury in Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I love that film.
Loved that
That's
film,
really
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Maybe not Oscar worthy, but an underrated film and underrated performance, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, as well, Ollie, would have to go Adam Sandler in Reign Over Me. I think he's excellent in
Oh,
that
yeah.
film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's amazing, that film, man.
Yeah. Do you like The Lighthouse?
Yeah.
I actually do like The Lighthouse. Yes,
That's
probably
fantastic.
might be no. I'd say that's probably my second favorite Robert Eggers film. Wasn't a huge fan of him. I had only watched The Northman, which I didn't like at all. So I was a bit apprehensive watching anything else. But I'd heard that that's quite different to all of his other films.
Yeah.
So I gave The Lighthouse a go, and I really liked it. And then obviously I've seen Nosferatu now, and I
You've seen The
really
Witch?
liked that as well. I've not seen The Witch yet. No.
I've
A lot
not
of people
either.
can't get past the like old English, but I think that's the best
Yeah.
film I've seen by him. Really creepy.
The Goat as well. I've heard The Goat's a bit of a
Yeah, Black
character on its
Phillip.
own. Yeah.
Did Jody say her favorite? Underrated roles.
I actually just can't think of any more. Like, it's so hard to think on the spot. Yeah.
I just have a look through the collection to see if
Yeah.
any trigger my mind.
Dustin Hoffman's given some underrated performance for sure, though.
Dustin Hoffman and everything.
Yeah. He's
Um,
got 3 Oscars, though, hasn't he? Or is it 2? I don't know if he's got 2. He's got 2, yeah.
Actually,
See,
Dustin Hoffman and Lenny is a really underrated one.
I've got that, but I've not seen it yet.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like, he just lives the character in it. It's great.
See, I thought that he'd won an Oscar for Midnight Cowboy, an Oscar for Kramer versus Kramer, and an Oscar for Rain Man. But obviously,
No.
he's not won for one of them.
For Midnight Cowboy, he didn't win.
He didn't. He was nominated. He must have been nominated,
He was
though.
nominated, yeah. And John Boyd was nominated as well, but neither of them.
Deserved an Oscar for that. That was just
Yeah.
incredible role.
John Wayne won that year for True Grit.
Yeah, I suppose I've not seen it, but I've heard it's a good film.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's done some great. I mean, personal favorite of mine that I grew up with as a kid. Probably not for everyone. But it's more of a kids' film, but Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
good.
So good. Gets me. This is when he goes. Oh, that has me every time sat on the chair. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it's just his shoes. Yeah,
I did
lovely
rewatch
film.
it. Yeah, I actually don't mind that one, Ollie. And I rewatched The Graduate a couple of weeks ago. I love that film.
I still need to watch
Excellent.
Straw Dogs. I've got the DVD.
Yeah,
I've not
I've
seen it yet, though. Yeah, I've got quite a few of his that I've not seen.
Quite a good role. When I was a kid, I didn't realise the whole time I was watching Hook, and I watched it quite a few times, that it was Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook. I just never clocked it.
Tootsie's a great one.
Yeah.
Beyond, probably my favourite.
I've not seen Sphere yet, but I've heard that's a bit of a weird one.
I like
He's
it.
probably the only good thing
Yeah.
about that, I thought.
Yeah.
I think
No,
it's
yeah,
kind
he's-
of a rated sci-fi movie.
yeah.
So sometimes
Outbreak.
I don't know if I'm biased because I like Dustin Hoffman so much, or if it's
Yeah.
actually, so sometimes I have to separate myself from and see
Yeah.
is it actually good. But I think it is. I think it's very enjoyable.
I've only seen it
Outbreak's
once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Outbreak should have been. Outbreak's very much like Contagion. It's one of those films. I think I watched it around the same time as Contagion. Obviously, when that was big because COVID had just, and it really does hit like home. It's like quite, and some great performances in like Outbreak, like Dustin Hoffman, Kevin Spacey's really good in it.
Yeah.
I think it's Rene Russo in it as well. Can't
Mhm.
remember now. Yeah, Morgan Freeman as well. I
Marathon
think,
Man.
wasn't it?
One of his
Yeah,
best
Donald Sutherland as well.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Sam, you watched Last Chance Harvey as well this week, didn't you?
I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, I thought it was quite decent. I just loved how, obviously, you really feel for his character at the first. Like, he's just having the most shit day ever, and you feel so sorry for him. But then, like, when he meets like Emma Thompson's character, it kind of turns it around for him, and I really liked that. It was nice, like, chilled out sort of like. I just love like a bit of a simplistic sort of movie like that. Well, and obviously you've got like great performances. You're just following like just two characters, and it's a bit of a simple story. But I really quite enjoyed that one. Yeah, I thought that was quite decent, and I've got Ollie to thank for kindly sending the Blu-ray of that as well. And yeah, I only realised, Ollie, you know, in watching Last Chance Harvey, that 3 years before that film. Dustin Hoffman and Emma Thompson were both in Stranger Than Fiction as well.
And they reunited 11 years later on the Meyerowitz stories, which is a pretty good film as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've not seen that.
Noah Baumbach. It's on Netflix. It's a pretty good film. Adam Sandler, obviously Emma Thompson, Dustin Hoffman, Ben Stiller. About a family, dysfunctional family. It's pretty good, pretty funny.
Yeah. But do you know what, Ollie? I love like all this praise for Dustin Hoffman, like on these streams and stuff, because obviously Jody being a massive fan, and you as well, Ollie. It's really good that there's been a lot of like love for this actor, because it makes me realise, and similar to Arnie actually, that in one way that there's so many more films that I'm still yet to check out, and a couple of big movies with that actor that I'm still yet to check out. So it's great when you guys are talking about a lot of these movies like Dustin Hoffman or Arnie. It's like, oh yeah, I've got to check these out. So it's really great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you think Vinnie Jones was miscast in X-Men 3? What's your thoughts? I haven't seen it for a long time, so
yeah,
I
same,
can't really
Ollie.
comment on that.
Don't know, but miscast. I mean, I guess he plays like a big tough villain pretty well, and the Juggernaut in like the old X-Men cartoon was kind of dumb and barely had any dialogue. So I think he's quite well cast, really.
Yeah. Paul Newman in Nobody's Fool is such a great performance. I agree, he is fantastic in that. Also, Bill Murray in St. Vincent is beautifully played. Another film that I love. I think,
Oh God,
Bill Murray is great in that. Yeah, need to get a Blu-ray of that.
Yeah, that is a beautiful film. That and Lost in Translation, absolutely amazing. They're probably my two favourite Bill Murray performances. I think there might be. I need to check out Nobody's Fool.
Brad Davis was underrated in Midnight Express. Not seen that one yet.
That's brilliant. Yeah, it's really good.
Brad Pitt should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Fight Club. Yeah, he was pretty good. I mean, you don't know that, you wouldn't have known the twists. So
exactly. Yeah, you think he's the main actor, really, but
yeah. Hugh Grant in Heretic. Yeah, definitely agree with that one.
I agree with you there, mate. Definitely.
Hey Sam, are you more Alien or Evil Dead? Ellen Ripley versus Ash Williams.
For myself personally, mate, I probably would go Evil Dead, because I think, and that's only because I think Evil Dead's my favourite horror film series, and I've seen all the Evil Dead movies, whereas Alien, I've only seen the original and Alien versus Predator, but there's no doubt in my mind, I mean, Ripley's probably, I would probably say, sorry, Ripley might probably be the better protagonist. There's no doubt in my mind, but I would say, if we're talking like horror film series, I would say Ash Williams is probably my favourite that springs to mind. But yeah, Ripley, no doubt, will become one of my favourite like protagonists, especially when I get onto like Aliens and so forth. Absolutely. But from the first film, she's great. Absolutely.
He's also asked, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
47.
There you go.
Nah, we're kidding. 27.
Cheers, guys. Take care. Thanks for joining, Giz. I was going to say Guy Pearce in Memento. Yeah. Great Memento. Great. And also The Prestige. 2 great performances. He meant The Proposition. Yeah. Not seen that one yet.
I'd say Prestige is Hugh Jackman and
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Yeah. And David Bowie. That's the performance. There you go. David Bowie in The Prestige.
I watched it once years ago, but need to watch it again.
Yeah. Proposition's pretty good, Ollie. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. It's quite brutal at times, but pretty good. And The Prestige, I've not seen in absolute years. Been years since I last seen that. Definitely.
Underrated Christopher Nolan film, I think. I really liked it. That's it. That's the end of the comments and the end of the topics I've set. So I suppose we'll set homework now. Because we haven't for the last few weeks. Sam, you can kind of guess what your homework's going to be. One of 2. You can choose. You can either watch Aliens or you can watch The Great Escape.
I think I will go with The Great Escape. I did quite well the other week, Ollie. I forgot to say this last week. I did watch Sleepers and I really liked that. But yeah, I think I'll go for The Great Escape. But I think when I've got more like when I've got like when I say when I go on my next spree in HMV, I definitely have to look out for Aliens and definitely in the 2 for 30 deal, I'll have to try and get some like Team America or something like that, or Breakdown. But yeah, no, I'll definitely go for The Great Escape this week for sure.
Yeah. Travis has got a set for everyone else. It's optional, Jody. If you want to do the homework, you can.
I think I probably should watch. I know I probably should watch Hot Fuzz. I think
I was going to say that. Yeah,
that's probably like the natural next movie to watch. Yeah, so I'll report back.
I'm going to say, Tim, watch one of the many DVDs you bought today.
Yeah,
that should be quite easy.
I'll watch I, Daniel Blake.
That's a good one. Yeah,
that's phenomenal, mate. That's brilliant.
Yeah,
or one of the Pink Panther films.
Oh yeah, I got him to buy the Pink Panther films as well because they're great films.
Not seen any of them. To be fair.
They're great films. Yeah, you'll have a lot of fun with them. Yeah,
or maybe one
set me something.
I think Ollie should watch Terrifier 3. No, I'm joking.
No.
Megalopolis again.
No. No, thank you.
What was the one we said earlier about you? A big film you hadn't watched, Ollie, when you was looking at your.
I said
collection?
a lot. I went through a lot of them.
Have you seen Stand By Me?
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Can't remember what ones Ollie's had that he hadn't watched.
Good, Bad and the Ugly, 2001.
There you go. There's 2. I'll watch one of them.
Yeah, 2001 is just fantastic. Like it's so.
I've been meaning to watch that for a while now. So
yeah, it is amazing, Ollie, and like because you love what you've seen from Stanley Kubrick so far as well. Like you were saying, so I would choose 2001, but Good, Bad and the Ugly. Even if you chose that is just another phenomenal 10 out of 10 movie as well.
Yeah, I'd quite like to watch because there's a Fistful of Dollars and A Few Dollars More were before, weren't they? And then it was The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
And shockingly, I've not seen Fistful of Dollars and A Few Dollars More, but I've got all the Dollars trilogy on pre-order on Arrow, so I'm going to save them a first-time watch of Fistful of Dollars and A Few Dollars More when I get the Arrow editions for them. But yeah, Good, Bad, and the Ugly, just phenomenal. In my top 40 films of all time, I would even go as far to say that as well.
Yeah, I'll definitely give them a watch this week then, one of them at least. So that's it. We're at the end of the comments, finished all the topics. We've been going for one of the shortest streams we've had. 3 hours 13 minutes, still decent length though.
Let's say
So yeah,
that's all right
thanks
for me.
everyone.
I got to be up in 5 hours time. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're doing 6
Wow,
to 10.
5 in the
aren't you?
morning, but
Oh
I'll have
Yeah.
my
Oh no.
food before I go to bed.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for joining in the comments, sending your comments in. Much appreciated. As usual, we'll be going again, hopefully same time next week. And thank you guys for joining as well. Obviously, we'll go into the lobby afterwards, but another great stream. So we'll see you
Thank you
all
so
next
much,
week,
Holly.
guys. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.